Let's get it. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to day 3 of PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the spring split in Pakistan region, of course, and it is all thanks to Reno 5 Pro. I'm going to be your host and cast uploader. Joining me is Ocean Sharma, and dude, the journey has stepped up quite a lot now.
It has. I'm talking about the days that it has been like yesterday's 2 days. Those were brilliant. Today is going to be a day of establishment, a day of coming back probably for a few teams if they can, because we were casting in another region, right? And we saw the comebacks happening onto that one. Like, let's talk about that one. We were casting South Asia wildcard before this one, and No Chance had an incredible comeback in that region. Let's see which team has a comeback in this region, because today it's going to be a crucial day. I mean, if a team writes their name just like that one, I would love to see that.
That is so true, because that is something that is, of course, going to be working in those teams' favor. That is going to be stepping up. And for that, of course, talking about step up, you are working towards the final destination as you step up. And that's going to be, of course, the journey towards PMPL Season 3, for which 3 teams from Pakistan region are going to get selected. So you have to be in the top of that leaderboard. And along with that, of course, as Ocean just mentioned, from wildcard, we are looking at 2 teams from Nepal. There will be 3 teams alongside with Bangladesh as well. We are looking at 3 teams that will be joining us.
I mean, teams will be out here for sure, but the final goal for these teams is going to be just one thing, and that is to be on the stage of Pro League South Asia Season 3. I mean, that's where you are looking yourself with the other teams, like in that conjecture, because we have seen the likes of ASL out there. We talk about last time those teams were playing out there. DRS, incredible. A1 Esports as well from Bangladesh, like the team was just out there, and you know these 3 teams obviously went ahead to showcase the dominance in GC. So something like that will be coming or will not. Like that's going to be one of the things for sure. But it's the bragging rights that matter.
Absolutely. And talking about bragging rights, it certainly is going to be the prize pool that you, of course, get to be a part of with $29,200 on the line. It will, of course, be segregated amongst all the teams that participated throughout the group stages as well. As you can see, from 17th to 32nd position holders also did end up getting a little bit of the money from that entire sum. But eventually, you need to just get first, second and third position, because that is what will define your journey.
That's important, right? First, second, third position right now. It's this is one thing. As you can see, the qualified for PMPL, the crown that these teams will be holding. We'll have to see, how that just, goes up onto everything, as we'll be just, looking forward onto the discussions. But the most important thing right now is going to be how are the teams going to be looking forward with the start of today's day, because it's an important. It's the middle day of the stages. Wednesday, Thursday happen. Today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's where the things will be cementing down themselves.
Exactly. That is so true, and that's going to be so important. Alongside which, of course, getting those points. Of course, if you're not able to get the chicken dinner, it's still a-okay, as so many teams have showcased. But getting those kill points is going to be bare essential, and for which, of course, you do have to mention Stalwart and their gameplay. Stalwart Flex were wonderful yesterday.
Yeah, I mean they were indeed really good. With the strategies, right? But talking about the point structures, as we were talking about, right? You gotta have your eyes on the 15-point marker. That gets you a chicken. That cements you with the chicken dinner. Second position gets you 12 for sure. Third gets you 10. Then comes down the single-digit marker: 8, 6, 4, 2. 8 to 12 gets you 1, and 13 to 16. It doesn't get you anything unless you have 1 kill, 1 point. Like that thing, obviously, just gets you somewhere. So it just depends down to where and how are you going to be, looking forward for the fights and everything, because kills matter. But alongside kills, if you can make your teammates and yourself survive the entire circle, entire journey, you might as well be the one, that survives till the last man, the last team standing.
Exactly, and again, for that, I do want to mention FS, which is going to be FreeStyle. I mean, yesterday, or rather throughout from the regionals, what we've seen from that team is going to be, well, complete annihilation, bring in the domination into the lobby. But somewhere along the line, they completely did not focus on those quad, or rather those points, because those points that do get you from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, they matter a lot. They have been focusing on those skills. So today, again, we will be hoping that FS brings a different story. And talking about different stories,
well, we have the squad roster out here. F4's out there, Magnus Esports, and then we could see Portal Esports with DQ on their name. TUF, NFPSKY, FreeStyle team, H2E. Big names, good names just out there to showcase onto themselves, like how are they going to be just moving forward. StarXOPS, Rounders, Zarar Esports team, Bablu. Like, there might be a few teams that want to go for a comeback or something like that if they can actually just, get their hands on today. But Regicide is also out there, 247 also on the DQ, FaZe, Stalwart, and R3D.
Boy, oh boy, I mean, talking about 16 teams now, again, teams who have not had a good start will now be able to. Because again, you're talking about, well, not 16, but 14 teams stepping into the lobby. And that certainly does bring you, well, that much more of a free comfort zone, as you can say. Because again, 2 teams have moved off of those lobbies. And doing so has resulted in few of those teams. Again, it'll be based on how exactly are they going to be able to convert that in their favor. But
so that just comes down to a butterfly effect, right?
Exactly,
Even the minor change that happens, it changes the entirety of the tournament right now. It will, because now it's down to 14 teams. They will try to, just get some points for themselves. Some drop locations might not be contested.
Exactly.
If you feel free, you can just drop out on those areas. Your rotations might not be contested, which would have been otherwise in some different timeline of the multiverse or something like that. But right.
That is true, but with that, of course, talking about the games themselves, we're looking at 4 games back-to-back, and talking about the schedule, we start off with, of course, Erangel, move on to Sanhok, followed by Miramar, and then finally, to close the day off, it will be Erangel once again.
Yeah, it will be Erangel once again, as we just, looking forward to all these matches. 2 Erangels, Sanhok, Miramar in the middle. So when we talk about the first Erangel, obviously, it might just showcase us a slow start, if anything, but then once we just, move forward on to the other things, that's where the Sanhok will arrive. We were thinking, like yesterday also, we were thinking Sanhok might be a slow start as well. But then as soon as the fights started to happen,
20 minutes, 18 minutes, and it was done.
18 minutes, it was done, because there was like 11 teams alive. Right on to the next second, you could see the kill feed just running away. And obviously the most important part was 11 teams alive, 10 seconds or something, 3 teams alive.
Exactly. And that is what Sanhok brings to the table every single time. But what we've seen thus far is, again, talk about that perfect start, which is going to be Erangel. We've seen dominating plays coming in from these teams. So now with that, talking about dominating teams, I did just mention Stalwart Flex. They have been phenomenal. So head-to-head coming in, where indeed Team F4 against Stalwart Flex, and the domination is very clearly evident.
It is out there, like you can see Team F4 leading up the charts with 2 chicken dinners on their hands and 1 for Stalwart Flex. But the thing about this one is, the point difference, it's not a lot. And that is because one team has, like, both of them have kind of quite close on, are kind of quite close onto the kill department. Damage given versus damage taken is good with F4, like the ratio, as you can see, 10826, 6585. Like, so, whilst Stalwart Flex, they are going on 7,000 plus their number. So it's like they are taking up good fights, but the good fights are actually dishing out damage on themselves as well. And that's one thing that you kind of have to just, falter up against. Like, you should not be getting onto the bad fights. And that's one thing that F4 is doing good. Like yesterday's last game, if you remember, the way the team just, went into the compartments, just taking up a good fight and winning up that one. So that was brilliant. Let's see what they do today. Well,
again, I mean, you talk about that, Ocean. It is so very crucial for these teams to have the lineup stand till the 10, till the final few teams remaining, more than perhaps if you can get your entire squad till the top 2, top 3 teams, that is going to be perfectly working in your favor. And that's what F4 does every single time. They focus on getting those revivals done. They focus on getting that team stuck together as a 4-man squad. Whereas so many of these other teams we've seen have a fanned out approach. For example, Zarar, I mean, every single game we've seen from them has always had a very different approach, right?
Exactly. Let's have a look at the comparison between the players now. Let's talk about F4 Wolverine and obviously Stalwart's Flex's Crypto when we talk about the players and the individual strategies that they have been looking forward to. As you can see right now, knock conversions coming up from Wolverine. That's really brilliant. Talking about Crypto, obviously he has much more kills. Obviously taking down the last players and all those things, that kind of matters in this one. Look at survival time of 27 minutes. 27 minutes. That's
the healing power.
Lot.
That's the healing power of the Wolverine. Of course, he's going to be standing through the test of science and keeping that working in his favor, which is, again, I mean, you're talking about average survival time. Average survival time being that high. Again, I mean, the games end up not being that high as well so many times, but eventually that is the case when it comes to F4 Wolverine. And in that doing so, he has resulted for being the strong man for Team F4.
That's true. But we'll be jumping on to the first match pretty sure, like in a while. But the thing is, with that one comes out the responsibility of this day. The day that kind of matters a lot. You should not be crumbling onto this day, right? So that's one of the most important things. And with that, the most crucial thing will be obviously the flight path, circle. If you are inside the circle, plus given the fact, suppose if the zone goes down to the military base island, how far away are you at Severny? Are you going to be just moving downwards? How can you just fumble up and do good for your rotations? All those things are going to be just mattering a lot.
Absolutely. With that, of course, let's get busy with the game itself, as the game is about to go live any second now. And there we go. We've got the first game on day number 3 on Erangel, of course. Flight path on our screens, moving down from Lipovka region towards the southern western side of military base for now.
Lipovka to military base, you can see Novoripnoy, Miltapava, those areas are just out here. So just in this one, imagine if a team wants to go to Georgopol or something like Sivani, some areas of those sorts, it might as well be just a contestation of location. So we still have to see, how it just comes down to the perfection the team does it. F4, you can see the players already dropping down. It's now a matter of chance if the zone helps them or not.
Absolutely, and that is going to be a conversation about F4 as well as all the other teams, because the circle certainly always defines the kind of play, the kind of rotation you should expect from them teams. Again, when it comes to the drop locations, so many times we've seen Zarar move on down towards the side of military base, and so many times H2E follows them alongside them as well. Again, the conversation today seems to be going towards military base as well a lot of eastern drops as of now, again, because the flight path itself is focused towards the east of the map, and as well Ocean just mentioned, if you have to move on down towards the side of Georgopol, it is going to have little bit of a tricky situation.
I mean, that's where it will be like, a sad, mad, bad news for the players. If the circle just goes away from them, they'll have to just, look forward to it. Like, yeah, we dropped down good, but now how to get inside the zone? Given the fact, obviously, the circle is going to be just, showcasing them curveball slowly and steadily as of now. But now the zone is in good hands. And this circle, you can see that the 4 conjectures, obviously, that's where the circle sometimes goes. So that's what the zone is going to be. And talking about this one, Stalwart Flex, they are away from the fights. They have a proper military base for themselves. They can just, wait for a while just by staying in the military base island because the circle is still there. If they want to go for a later rotation or something like that, Team Zarar, they have Novoripnoy for themselves. But talk about F4. Look at the split that starts from Lipovka to Shelter. So that they have a proper open area for themselves to loot, and maybe suppose if Voltrox feels like he's really good, the team will just rush to him, and that sounds like a really, really good area that the players can actually have for the fights.
Absolutely, and also very much in the smack center of the circle as well as of now. And again, there's no other team around side F4 to contest for that location. That's going to be working in their favor. Absolutely pristine turn of events for F4, but again, this is just the start of the game. Talk about first blood coming in. For now, all the teams are going to be setting themselves up and getting that loot sorted. Again, talk about getting yourselves comfortably set up. Bablu, that's going to be a team that I do want to keep my eyes out for today, because they have not had a good outing as of now. But again, as we just mentioned, when it came to the wildcard region, one good day, you can bring yourself from 16th position all the way in the top 10. Into top 5.
Onto the 6th position, wherever they were. I was just 3 points shy of top 5, right? Yep. So that's one thing. I mean, they can do that tomorrow. nothing.
No question about that.
Let's see which team, changes their pace today in this one. Because talking about Pakistan teams, they are brilliant. They don't, fall down from the fights. Even if when we talk about the likes of teams that have showcased their dominance in World League.
Right.
And there have been like some of the most unique movements that they have showcased their fights with and against. So for sure today as well, a team might as well just mark their name onto the journey that they would love to go on with. But we still have to think of, and we still have to look forward when the fights will happen. But for now, 1 minute for the first circle to come around.
Absolutely, and with that, we've got 56 players in the lobby. That also does imply that when it comes to those kill points, they are going to be that much more crucial, because now there are, 2 teams less in the lobby, implying there are 8 points that are missing from the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of just, matters. Because you are thinking about this one. Whenever you're just, looking forward to the fights and all, you want more and more kill points, and you might have gathered those somehow or something like that. But now, when you're looking for less number of players, less number of teams and all those things, it kind of reflects on the points as well. Well, nevertheless, these teams will be just, fighting against each other for all the rest of the day. So that's where the points will be taking up a haul onto themselves. But right now, as you can see on the school side's area, Snow, Maxi Hammer onto one side, and there's another player that's on in the school as well. So taking a hold of school and apartments kind of sounds like a good area, given the fact if you want to go for a Rozhok domination, right? You can go to the Rozhok Hill, spot down the players, take them down. But now talking about when you have to go onto the southern side of the school apartments, what you can do is obviously have 2 vehicles, try to rotate from one area, and obviously that's what the first and second circle are all about. It's about the rotations, it's about the implementations, it's about showcasing if you can find a good area inside the circle and then defend it for the 3rd and 4th circle. 5th circle, just go guns blazing.
Absolutely, and with that, we move on towards the side of FreeStyle, who already have a vehicle working for them, so that's going to be absolutely perfect. And as they move on across the map, getting that loot sorted, we are looking at Tyron 2 right here, and Tyron 2 yesterday was very dominating play, and what a massive turnover events he was able to bring towards the side of FS indeed, as they moved on from those kill department points towards the side of placement points. And today, that is going to hopefully be their sole motto of the game. Move on towards the team's gameplay itself. We are, of course, looking at FS being all the way towards the western side of the map as of now, and pretty separated and segregated.
Okay, talk about grounders right now. You can see they might be in a bit of trouble. See, if they want to drive by the shoreline, NFP will be out there. If they want to go from the query side, FS will be out there. And I can, always it will be in my mind if it respects shotgun clutch of yesterday, the one that started off the momentum of the game, and for the team as well. So I would love to see something like that happening. Because if you just talk about... all right, let's just go down a bit onto the memory lane. And I still remember it used to be Aito-chan from BB, who used to, in PMGC, who used to always use DBS for clutches. And he used to get those clutches. So talking about something like that, that was DBS, though this was S1897. So, that's just one thing. But using some sort of a different weapon that your opponent is not ready for, so that just kind of, changes something, and you can have your name with that one. And talking about shotguns, obviously impressive weapon, impressive damage in the extremely close range, but when you gotta go for the sprays and all, the ARs always come handy, though. That's just one thing.
In fact, I mean, talking about them guns as well, right? Yesterday's final game that you casted along with Phoenix, you were talking about VSS. And VSS also, interestingly, at times ends up becoming a really reliable weapon if it's in the right hands. And if you have the comfort with the weapon, because again, so many of these guns, they are going to move on towards what are you comfortable with and in what situation what gun is going to be utilized. Again, you talk about those long-range fights, you cannot be moving along with, of course, a shotgun. You cannot be moving along with a micro because you are going to have something a bit better. But with that, the grounders now, as we had just noticed, they are towards the western southern side of the map, and the circle has caught up with them, but they are looking pretty confident and comfortable. The only conversation would be, though, because there were other teams that would maybe want to contest as they make that rotation, they are in a single car. Or no, they will hopefully be changing that, yes.
Yeah, they would want to. They would want to. All right, so it's a 1-3. All right, it's a 2-2 split. Now, I think they find another vehicle up forward. Yeah, they are finding vehicles so much for the covers. If they take another one, that would be brilliant. The more the better.
Exactly.
In these situations. And obviously, you just want to, just rush out from that area that's outside the circle to those areas that are inside the circle. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, no casualties have happened. No fights have actually broken out because the players are still trying to find a good area, but Khatir has something else in his mind. You can see Crypto onto the other direction. Uzum and Blade are pretty close to him, but right now what he wants to do is either call for a backup. Sounds like his backup has arrived, but the thing is, if you knock someone, can you go for the, rush down onto that opponent? That's just one of the most important things, because you'll have to carry down your rush onto an open road where Blade might be a player that takes you down from an off angle.
Absolutely. For now, of course, Stalwart Flex getting themselves perfectly set up on this flank angle where all four players have a perfect turn of events where a few of them actually are on the hill as well. So they will have a bit more of an advantage, whereas on the other side for NFPSKY Carter, he is all alone by himself in the small little shack, for which, of course, Crypto as well as Reuse are going to have their crosses set up. So as soon as Carter decides to rush from this position, it is going to be a bit of a tricky situation. Along with that, of course, the circle is already gunning for them.
It sounds like he did good, right? Using those smokes just for his aid. He knows that the opponents might not just, be with their peaks onto him just because of one thing, that is the circle is just out there. So, Khatin, the main important thing is that he needs to move to Ash. If he does that, that's good. Otherwise, Azam might would try to take him down. Right now, you can see the circle just dropping up as a central chip. That's a really good one. Team Zarar just moving up from Novorepnoy inside the circle. And that's a good thing. No team to contest him till Milta. They can just stay there, just try to get up onto the fights, but onto the other direction. LZ, will it happen with the grenades? Meanwhile, you can see TG grounders moving pretty close to them, but the grenade was out there, did not do any damage, and now Reviews is just moving up forward as well. LZ still out in this area, needs to just move forward. And the thing is, the zone is 900 meters. Let's give it plus minus 1,000 meters away from the teammates and from the opponents, from each other. So now they have to decide, do they move or do they not? Do they move? Do they not? Do they stay here? Do they move around the circle? What do they do next?
Exactly, because again, you talk about those rotations itself. We just saw the grounders as well moving along from that exact same position. So as this team, rather both of these teams, Stalwart Flex as well as NFP, as they make that rotation, there will be teams around there as soon as they get into the circle to contest that rotation that will be brought on from these teams, and that is going to be a bit of a tricky situation and a fair bit of course. Of course, for now we are looking at NFP taking a longer approach to get into the circle, and that's perfect, absolutely perfect working for him. And with that, first blood coming in, and that is thanks to H2E Ati. He has been able to get a first confirmation kill, and that is going to start the saga for today. 10 minutes in, we're looking at first kill, and with that, the third circle about to hit the mark in just a matter of seconds. And there we go. We've got the third circle already here. Stalwart Flex is going to be able to make that rotation comfortably for now. There does not seem to be any team around them. The grounders have just rushed away, as we can see far away in the distance. Those vehicles, they were the ones that grounders were in, and they will, again, they are going to be finding themselves in a comfortable position. But for now, it is going to be Stalwart's Blade taking a water rotation all by himself.
Just trying right now, and that's just one thing as of now. But the thing is, Uzum is on to the other direction, just waiting for his teammate. Just arrive out here, and maybe if you just, get onto this location, you can get in, just move away, because that's where Blade is. Still outside the circle, both the players. I mean, that's just one thing. And this buggy, I want to see what he does with this buggy. Oh, he's just moving up forward. Not even waiting for his teammate. It's like, probably they are going to be taking these two compounds or something like that, by the looks of it. And yeah, they are taking these compounds, plus waiting for the teammate. 4 meters outside the circle, not much of a difference though. The second airdrop will be having an MK14 if someone wants to use it, and that too onto the back end side of mansions, areas, and those compounds, and also quite an open and risky spot for someone who wants to go for the loot. But then there are houses on the back end side, and if some team wants to, just make it theirs, they can. Like, it's an open bargain.
Absolutely, Ocean. And again, I mean, I am hoping Blade is able to find a point to enter through, because that water rotation that he was trying, he was probably stuck in that situation. And now as he tries to climb up that ridge, that is going to be another factor to keep in mind, because there did not seem to be any sort of any sort of comfortable way he could climb up on that ridge. But with that, we move on towards R3D's Virus right here, who seem to have their crosshairs fixed towards the compound of NES. And NES are absolutely oblivious to the fact that there is a team right above them, because they are looking onto a completely different direction, whereas R3D, they have the information. Talking about Team Bablu, the rotation has certainly worked for them. They moved away from Georgia Pole area and have made a long rotation, and are now looking pretty good and comfortable in the circle.
They have a good area for themselves for sure, but now as you can see, the circle moves away from the potato hill, and that is where it is going down the 4 areas where the roads just diverge to each other. And now it's going to be a gamble. If the circle shifts north, the open area of Yasnaya is going to be something where NFP might just make up a chance for their fight and everything. If the circle stays south, that's where one more thing might just happen. Anubius meanwhile goes down as the fights were happening by NES and R3D. Team Bablu going for a really slow rotation for themselves, and his Pika is still outside the circle. Dani meanwhile just enters the zone right now, and that's where you could see some SCARL action coming from NES's players, and that was Emma just taking down a few shots on the players of R3D. Still, R3G meanwhile, they are still at a good dip for themselves, but the thing is, this dip is good for 3 directions as it covers you, but the 4th direction is something that you constantly have to look forward to, and that's where one team is.
Absolutely, and that team was certainly taking shots towards the other side of R3G, but move the conversation towards NES. That is going to be North Esports. They have that compound set. They've got the information for the team that is up on the ridge, and that is going to be an interesting turn of events, because this team, R3D, they have already lost 1 player. They need to be a bit more synergistic now, because they're only a 3-man squad, and as we move on with this circle and with these fights, they are going to be again contesting for these compounds from a lot many teams who are still looking strong with the 4-man army.
I mean, that's one thing that these players will have to do. R3D Walker, meanwhile, just, again, moving up forward onto the different areas for himself. And he can see StarXOPS players, Team Bablu, meanwhile, moving. But this is going to be a troublesome situation. Bablu, the place where they are going, that's where StarXOPS is, plus NES from the back-end side. So if they want to change their area just in the final moment, it might just be a bad situation, bad news for them. And it sounds like it. They are still determined to move forward. Well, it's a good thing. If you are believing that you can take up those fights, then it's going to be a brilliant thing right now. This is going to be 3rd circle that's just closing in slowly and steadily. You can see TG's players as they are pretty close to StarXOPS players, and StarXOPS, they're in the open. All they have to do is just take down at least 2 people in the house. If they do that, they can rush in.
Absolutely, and the grounders right now does not seem to know, or maybe they do. Maybe Honey does have information that there is a team up there, and so of course when they try and make this rotation and try and get out of this compound, it is going to be a bit of a tricky affair. But on the other side, of course, Grounder Shaptar is very far away from that compound and is certainly going to be able to provide a flank and cover fire if StarXOPS do decide to push on along for this exact same compound. But on the other side is of course going to be Bablu, and Bablu, if they would want, could very well contest this fight as a third party.
They can right now. You know, getting the kills is the final goal that the team has to do. But well, let's see how that actually happens. How the kills actually just arrive for them. But well, right now you can see Shapatar just a bit away from the team. It's a 3-1 split, but that is not too far away though. That's just one thing. Adil meanwhile takes on TUF Venom. So MJ's Magnus is taking up a fight against the players of TUF, and TUF will have to see if they can just strike back, a retaliation, a trade fire, something like that. If they can take a player down or something. Fury and Jin got still at a good area as they are inside the circle right now, onto the edge of the circle. So now they have to look at the back end side as well. If a team is arriving, and by the looks of it, R3D might just try and contest them in the open, which might not be the suitable thing. But right now, that sounds like the way that a team would want to rotate, because if we talk about R3D, they are not inside the circle.
Exactly, and to get into the circle, they either have to go through Bablu or they're going to have to go through StarX, and the likes, of course, that is not going to be allowed from them, and that is going to be a very tricky situation for that rotation. But talk about Star Flex, that is just perfect annihilation coming in from them, where they are moving along the side of FreeStyle and bringing down the players of FreeStyle one by one. 2 kills already confirmed, and Respect now trying to get some retaliation fire, but not being able to bring even an inch of damage towards the players of course, Stalwart Flex.
We have all the teams surviving right now, the ones that actually entered the lobby, and we are down to 51 players, as you can see. Slowly and steadily, the players are taking up a fight against each other, but still, nobody home in this situation. Right now, Reviews wants to just move forward if he can, and Respect is as well. But the thing about FS is that they are down to 2-man squad, so all that they can do is just, stay out here, stay away from the fights if they can. But thinking about it, Vegeta might be in a bit of trouble, because if you see the minimap,
right,
he is unknowingly kind of surrounded though, but not exactly, like pretty close. So, but those smokes might just give him away. Like the smokes are a gamble.
Exactly. The more he's trying to utilize the smoke as the cover, the more he's given away information, and he's also just a one-man army all by himself, surrounded by teams of the Grounder as well as Bablu. And there was another team that is, of course, going to be right behind him, and that is going to be the team of course, Stalwart. And now, talking about Stalwart, they have had a dominating run thus far. They are now going to be working that into their favor and bringing in kills. They've already got 2 kills on the side of FreeStyle, thus bringing 2 points. And with that, TUF Edgar is the one in control of Starflex, the perfect aggression.
Well, somehow Flex is in a bad spot all of a sudden as the players were being spotted down. Hammer, meanwhile, still surviving, trying to save himself with this tree onto the ground. But the thing is, on the left hand side, there is another team right next to him, and Uzum just trying to take up a fight. Crypto, well, the revive did happen. Now they need to go and revive one final player as well. Once that happens, they just have to move forward. But R3D, can they go for a good backstab? Because if that happens, obviously, they will have an open area to play right next to them. But Comeback is actually coming back with a grenade and takes down S3's Hawker by those good grenades on our NES. Meanwhile, R3D Virus is using lofting grenades of his own. Let's see if it actually connects.
Absolutely, and for now, he's certainly able to get that so close to the vehicle, and the vehicle is going to get damaged, and that is the only cover that Snow has. If he wants to get himself away from that situation, he better, well, get in the car or run, which again will not be advisable because there are so many teams around in the same area, and the same area is open, and so you need that car to get that cover. But, well, if you are close to the car, and if there are grenades happening again and again, the car that is supposed to be your cover could very well turn into your demise.
Well, the 4th circle closing up as of now. You can see 18 minutes, almost 19 minutes on to the marker right now. And slowly and steadily, the players are just out there. Snow, all right, well, Snow did go down right now. NES, all these players will have to just look forward as Max is also down. And Snow, will that be a revive or will that be a bleed out? Because the HP is still crucial. The clock is ticking. They need to move forward. But the thing is, whilst moving forward, they also have to look forward to that they don't get shot down, and they did. Hammer goes down. It's one final player Avenger, that too on low HP. Is he going to be able to avenge the teammates or something like that? Because the things are not looking good for them. Well, NES becomes the first team to be eliminated.
Absolutely, they were in the open. They were surrounded by so many of them teams, and with that, the circle moving on towards the northern eastern side, and that is going to push so many of these teams that we're looking looking at in the open, they are going to have to now get in those vehicles and rush to get in the circle. But with that, of course, you're talking about the grounders going against the side of Magnus, and Magnus Weekend and Erangel is going to try and get that control, where Shopter is already down from the sound of grounders and will be confirmed into a kill, and that leaves only one remaining player, not anymore. Well, Magnus were able to confirm that kill for themselves.
I mean, that is true. That did just happen. But right now, we still have to see, how the situation is turning down. We still have 12 teams surviving. 2 teams did go down. But still, if there's a fighting chance, teams would love to take it. And look at that. They were just, taking down each and every one. But MJ's Weekend did go down in that situation. Well, Zarar, the players are moving up forward. They are trying to get inside the circle. But the thing is, StarXOPS is moving right next to them. First of all, it sounded like that they were the same team because they had the same color code for their teams, respectively. But somehow Team Star just went in, and now all of a sudden Team Zarar is outside the circle. That just happened. But all right. The vehicle came in and it took down one. All they need to do is just take up a fight. That was a 1v1 that was supposed to happen. On to the other direction. Team Bablu, they were taking up a fight, and somehow we missed that.
Yes, we did. That was supposed to be a 1v1 that was just perfectly placed, where the vehicle did come in for a perfect aggression, and the timing was such that we could not see it. But nevertheless, of course, we do have the kill feed letting us know of the information. And right now, talking about the information itself, it is going to be an all-out war in the open farm area. And there will be very, very little cover for so many of these teams. With that, we've only got 10 teams remaining, 21 minutes into the game. Magnus looking pretty A-okay for now.
Well, as of now, you can see Magnus' deal needs a revive, and the revive will be just coming up forward as of now. But talking about the thing, once the smoke dishes out, they will understand that there are teams on to left and right, both the directions, so they will have to move forward onto those areas. Somehow, they will have to just, look forward to find out the perfect area for themselves. But this is the WWCD forecast. As you can see, Pika takes on one with a grenade, though, puts up a grenadier tag. This is the start of Team Bablu. Let's see where they will end by the end of the first game. But on to the side, if we talk about StarXOPS, they have 2 kills. Well, Jingod has 1 as of now. Would love to just, get more and more points. But what is this? That was a brilliant grenade by Oreo. You could see the trajectory, and now you can even see the damage happening. TUF, meanwhile, Destroyer destroys TUF Venom as he actually exits the lobby. Down to 9 teams is where we are.
Absolutely, and with that, Team F4 now making that rotation towards the upper edge of that circle. When you talk about the zone, that upper area is now, right now at least, uncontested in a perfect situation, and going to be confirming this as their final setup. On the other side, of course, you have Zarar that could very well be bringing a little bit of damage towards the side of this Team F4, who is only a 3-man army. But right here, you talk about StarX, they are bringing that aggression. You talk about StarX, they are bringing that aggression towards the side of Magnus. One of the players, that is Oreo, has already been knocked, and that leaves Adil and Skep the only 2 remaining. But they have a perfect cover for themselves, and the information probably has not been given away.
Adil on to one direction, Skeps on to the other. Oreo obviously was taken down, but now F4, talking about this team, they did lose Zedan, but not all hope is lost. Nocto was spotted just a bit, but the shots did not travel onto his direction perfectly. If we just talk about this one, Professor is still out there, and then talk about Skeps, well, he did go down, but as of now, Adil still trying to take up all the fights onto his direction. Can he actually just throw up a good grenade? Well, he did spot down 1, but the damage was not given. F4 Wolverine takes down Zarar Professor onto the other direction, and now Adil moving up forward. Sergeant, alright, he goes down as well. F4 is firing up on all cylinders once again.
Well, Magnus Esports alongside that has been eliminated and sent back into the lobby. And on the side, of course, you talk about F4, the kind of placement that they've got for themselves is working perfectly, as they have that ridge, a small little hill working in their favor, giving them information, and one after the other, they are taking fights not only with 1 team but 3 teams simultaneously, and that's going to be absolutely perfect. But talk about Team Bablu. They have a compound working in their favor. They've got 4 kills already, a 2-man strong army as of now. So this might be an interesting turn of events based on how the circle goes, because if the circle does help Bablu, then this could be very well their game if the other teams allow them to.
It's a big if, but now the thing just comes on. If Ash, actually opens up that door, they can just try and take the players on. But onto the other direction, NFP, they are blocking the area right onto the fights. And well, Joker right now just trying to spot someone. Look at a brilliant cover that he has for the left-hand side, and obviously that's going to be, protecting him from Professor, who just reached the circle, to the edge of the circle, but well, he cannot move forward. He is actually heal battling already, as he is on the edge of the zone. He knows if he moves more forward, he will be taken out. Well, he does. Voltrux gets that kill. Down to 5 teams. Team Bablu, NFP, R3D, F4, TUF comeback, still surviving. Now next circle determines who will be the boss.
Exactly. Next circle is certainly going to determine as to who is going to be having a comfortable spot in the circle, because if it moves towards this compound, it seems like NFP as well as Bablu might be in a bit of a wonderful situation for the other teams. They're going to have to push alongside that zone that's going to be approaching them slowly and steadily, bringing in a lot of damage, and that will start taking place in another 40 seconds. For now, it certainly does seem as if NFP have the information that there is a player right behind them. That's going to be two players of Bablu, but for now, the circle, of course, is going to be favoring NFP as well as Bablu.
Talk about this, right? 30 more seconds. 30 seconds and then the zone moves forward. With that, the other teams, you can see R3D already preparing themselves with those smokes and everything.
Yep.
F4 already preparing themselves with everything right in front of them. The utility uses, this is the crucial time. We want to go for this one. As you can see, the players are moving forward. Joker's grenade takes down Destroyer. And the finish will be just happening. And now R3D is moving up forward as they know there are the opponents. They know the location. They know how they can, just make your opponents fear a lot. Voltruck just out there, 34 bullets in 40 in both the guns. Spots down one, tries to take him down. One shot to the head, but no. 5 bullets, 4 bullets, no bullets. All right, R3G. They did go down, but they took F4 with them.
Absolutely did. That was just perfect play coming in from Team F4's last player surviving, but eventually was, of course, brought down in that doing so. Team Bablu, as we move on along towards the side of Pika, his teammate has been knocked. He's only a one-man strong, but he will hopefully be able to give that revive. But NFP now have the information and might just be able to convert this into a 2 points for themselves, because they know that there are players there. Just a perfectly lodged utility from the side of Deadshot right here could bring them those 2 points.
Comeback still can take the players down, but no, comeback goes down by Bablu Pika, and now he needs to revive his teammate. Meanwhile, NFP taking a fight against R3G. This is going to be one of the most crucial fights that could have happened out here. Insane will be taken down. Johnny might just follow up next if the vehicle bursts down. That the damage will be there, but no, the damage did happen, but it actually made up a cover for that individual lad. Joker's out there. This is going to be a fight of 3v2 as one more player like Zibian gets the revive, and now zone's moving up. Pika goes down. Zibian still surviving. Can he actually clutch this one? One of the most important things is to see out here, but no!
It is Bablu going back into the lobby. That has resulted in, of course, a 3v3 situation from the looks of it, where indeed you're looking at 3 players from NFP, and having that compound working in their favor is going to be absolutely crucial and important. With that, they have certainly brought down one more player of R3D, and that is going to result in a 3v2 situation where Nocto is now very close.
He is the last one surviving. Will one good grenade can actually change? Will one good grenade actually change everything? As you can see, Deadshot did move away from that direction. Now the Molotov's being done onto the other direction, and that's where Sky Ash might just be the one to take up a fall. No, he still survives. Oh, Nocto does not have a helmet. Does that airdrop have anything? He was trying, but no. Denied onto the equation, and there it is. NFP.
NFP indeed, once again, they got the chicken dinner yesterday as well on the map of Erangel, and right now they are looking really confident with 22 points and 7 total kills. That is perfect play from the side of NFP. That was also a 3-man strong army.
And they are on the 4th position. Yep. Top 3 is important. You gotta establish, and that's what they are doing right off the bat from the first game.
Absolutely. With that was just a GG play coming in from the side of Bablu, as well as they were in the open for the longest time and did try and convert those into some points. They did end up having 4 kills. That was okay, but
comeback.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
TUF
comeback. The guy that survived solo and survived for a lot time. Well, we are talking about the MVP R3D Joker. 4 kills, 656 damage, 2 assists, 109 healing. It's brilliant.
It is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I mean, Joker from Regicide right here, looking really confident and strong. And talking about top players, he certainly is a top player for the side of Regicide. But alongside that, throughout the game itself, we saw some amazing comebacks from so many different teams. And talking about TUF, we do want to see if that player will be part of this list.
Well, not yet though, but obviously he was a part of something, and that is taking his team onto the top 4 for sure. We'll be seeing that for sure, but right now you can see Respect with the longest distance skill, Destroyer with the longest distance travel. F4, meanwhile, they had good fight, but R3 just coming in, barging in, taking the players down. That was brilliant. NFPSKY Deadshot, maximum assist. And NFP, obviously those 15 points, they are going to be helping them a lot with the placements.
Exactly, and talk about Team Bablu. I mean, 4 kills were there, but all those 4 kills came in from just pick out, and that is neatly done indeed, placing them on the 3rd. And talking about, of course, NFP, they walked away with 7 kills, but Regicide were 8 kill strong with 20 points.
Well, that was brilliant. The way the players actually just, played the game for themselves. Regicide, yeah, they were a strong team. Bablu was strong. F4 was strong. Team Zarar, TUF, like these teams were out there. Talking about StarXOPS, Magnus, like they did try to take up good fights. But the thing is, they were in the open, and open zones sometimes sting you bad.
They certainly do. And again, I mean, talking about Zarar, the way they were caught off guard with the side of only just 3 players, they still did hold that strong, very, very strong for the longest time. But eventually, there were 3 teams gunning for them. And so, again, being out in the open, certainly not the kind of situation that you want to be in. But talking about Stalwart Flex, I mean, this team started that early aggression, but eventually, as the game came to the end, were not able to convert those into enough kills or points.
Yeah, it did not. But FreeStyle, Team H2E, North Esports Rounders, I mean, these teams will have to come back, come what may. R3D as well, they have to come back, somehow. But let's have a look at the damage graph to see, where everything was. And so many teams, 500, 600, 700, 1000. This is the beauty of an open circle. No teams like, less damage something. There are a few teams, but still, they gave up a fight.
Absolutely, and that is so very important because that is what is going to be the bare essential thing. You bring in those kills for yourself and you bring in those points. And again, I mean, it's basically creating terror in the lobby. And talk about that terror, all the teams are showcasing that domination, which is beautiful to be able to see every single game.
Exactly. And talking about all these things, right, they do create incredible moments in this game.
Oh yes, and with that, let's of course move on to open moments and go through the entire recap of this game, where indeed you have a look at F4. I mean, this team was looking very confident, but eventually, as the circles came to an end, they were fizzled out.
Yeah, I mean, the players were being taken down. Obviously, that was one thing that was happening. This was the movement. You can see Voltrix did take down the players down, but the fact that there were no more bullets and the reload time obviously would happen, so that just changed everything. But this is where the final fight was happening. One player did go down, but onto the other side, the players of NFP did go for an aggressive stance, and they took down the player of Team Bablu. The grenade was also on point. It would have done the damage otherwise, but well, this was the final movement, and the game ended.
Boy, oh boy, what a play that was indeed. I mean, NFP, the way that compound worked in their favor was just perfectly set up, because all the other teams, the only reason they got knocked out were because so many of them were out in the open, and there's only so much a smoke wall that you can create to either be a distraction or be your cover. But eventually, as you are in the open, you will be knocked even through that smoke.
I mean, that's kind of a thing that actually just happens, but there are still many more games to just go forward to.
Absolutely. With that, we're going to go on a very, very short break, after which, of course, is going to be match number 2 coming on Sanhok. Hello and welcome once again. We are back with game number 2 on day number 3 of PUBG Mobile Club Open Pakistan region. This is the regional finals that we're in. Just witnessed a wonderful play from NFP with 7 kills, annihilating play on the map of Erangel, but now it is going to be Sanhok, and it is of course going to be that much more aggression that we can hopefully see. Ocean.
Exactly, as you can see, the flight paths is going up from Camp Alpha to Bravo. Right now, Hearth and Paradise, those are going to be the good areas. Boot Camp as well, if a team wants to just go down. Painan as well, Camp Charlie, like those are going to be decent locations for themselves. MGS has a good area for them. TUF, as you can see, is dropping down already. R3D kind of sounds like they are having a good fun time dropping down right now. But talking about teams, like NFP, R3G, I would love to see, can they carry forward the previous game's momentum?
Exactly, that will be the question to keep in mind. Again, you talk about Zarar, they are moving towards Camp Bravo, and talk about the circle itself. The circle is certainly going to be favoring so many of these teams. They are so close, almost all the teams are so very close to the circle indeed, and that is going to be absolute perfect play. But talk about R3G, and they are moving down towards the southern side of the map as of now, and going probably towards the side of, well, interesting.
Well, they have a good area for themselves if you just, want to talk about this one. H2E, meanwhile, I would love to see if the fight happens between them and FS. How does that fight just, relate to everything? Talking about F4, you can see all the players just on different locations for themselves. And Destroyer from F4 is, I don't know, how many meters away, like so far away from the team.
That is so true. He certainly was living his own destructive play is what he's hoping for, or that could very well fizzle out his approach to the game as well. We shall have to see and wait, but of course move on towards the side of FreeStyle. They have gone to their comfortable docks area, as that is their comfort location, and that is going to work in their favor. But talk about H2E towards the side, they are going to be also looking pretty neat, getting themselves sorted, and with that we have a mutant being utilized from the side of H2E. That is not something that you see being picked up by these players very often, but of course as long as you're able to control that, it is going to be absolutely fine. Talk about Bablu now. Bablu is towards the region of Painan, and they have the entire village to themselves to keep on looting, and of course all they need to do is be a team playing game right now, because they are not looking good when it comes to the overall leaderboard, and they need to showcase a bit more to be of course representing the Pakistan region.
Well, top 3 was good in the previous game for this team, obviously. True. But obviously, everyone would be wanting more if you talk about this one. Well, 9 seconds on the clock, and the first zone is going to be just, shrinking up slowly and steadily. And that's where the teams will have to just move forward. Again, you don't play this game by your rules. You play it by the rules of the zone. Whenever the circle, makes you move, you'll have to move. Staying outside the circle, it's your choice. But, it's also slow death. So you got to make the good choices in this game. So that's one of the most important things. Talking about NES, well, all the players were being spotted down out here. They have a good area for themselves. But the thing is, once you take and gather up your loot, how well can you move? How fast can you move? How brilliantly can you actually just, focus on the rotations?
Exactly, and for that, NES will be making that rotation any moment now. But again, I mean, talking about the circle, they are in a comfortable spot when it comes to the circle itself. Zarar on the other side, of course, are also looking pretty comfortable, as they've got the entire camp to themselves, and that is going to be perfectly working in their favor, because there will be a lot of loot, and from Professor, we can see a little bit of jumping action, monkey action coming on along, and that will be perfect as he gets those loots quickly setting up for himself. And as the game progresses, we're just 4 minutes in the game. As of now, we've got no first blood coming in. Of course, keeping in mind that there are 8 players less in the lobby, so that implying there will be, well, it is going to take a little bit more longer perhaps to have a look at that that first kill itself. But talking about first kills, it seems like TUF Edgar is in a very good position to bring in some burst damage towards the side of Magnus's Oreo, and followed by Adil. And that rotation that Magnus is trying to approach right now could backfire, and there it is. That is a perfect spray coming in from Edgar TUF, and has brought down Oreo down to his knees with only a silver of HP left. But on the other side, of course, Magnus's Weekend as well as Keps are in the back end, and they should be hopefully bringing in some cover fire. But of course, TUF's team is also very much around the corner and will be helping him out. Last game, it was Comeback who held the team and moved them all the way towards the final circle itself. Now, right now, as we were just looking at it, Magnus's Oreo with only level 1 vest, that's going to be okay. He's certainly going to be moving away from this bridge and working towards getting himself a better utility.
And that's also damaged now because, you know, it was being spotted on and shot at.
Right.
So obviously that's just one thing. Adil is in the water lines, obviously just, you know, trying to make himself comfortable from all the areas around those corners. That's just one thing. But right now, as we can see, you have the players just moving up onto their own areas. So talking about the Sanhok, I don't know why I feel we're going to be seeing a lot more fights in the Sanhok. As you can see, the players are just going to be looking up for the start. And NFPSKY, the team that had a chicken in the previous game, they would want to have another or something. Well, one player moving up forward. Oh, spotted, shot down, denied. But no, Deadshot still surviving. Look at that. 3 players are down. SkyAsh takes down 2 and Deadshot takes down 1. It's one final player that's surviving out in this one. This might be a really, really bad news that they're trying to bring him down. All right. Wiping out the player. First the revive, then the loot.
Wow. That was just perfect play from NFP. What a bait game that was for the side. And again, Stalwart just walked into that one and they got annihilated in a matter of seconds. That was a perfect bait.
Bait game 100.
Yes. GG play.
That was incredible IQ. The way the players just, you know, because see, it's all about trigger discipline and it's all about thinking about that thing and
well, this team showcases how to play. Last game, of course, they were the chicken dinner winners with 7 kills. This time around, they are the ones bringing in that aggression in the lobby.
They are continuing that as it is with the fights. And last game it was 7 kills.
Right.
This game they won more. That's why they started off with the first fight for themselves.
And that too, a perfect knock off the entirety of the team. And with that, of course, it will be Stalwart Flex going and sent back into the lobby. But move on towards the side of Regicide Joker right here, bringing in some shots towards the side of FreeStyle. And FreeStyle not looking good as the circle is also not favoring them. But of course, there will be a lot of aggression coming in from the side of Ali. And Ali will be stopped and not knocked yet, but they are outside the circle.
That is the only thing that just, you know, is going to be bothering them up right now. They spot another one down this time again. The damage is being done. The damage constitutes to 2 things. And that first one is, the pixels were being shown from the other direction. That's for sure. And the damage constitutes 2 things. That is your utilities and your helmet and vest. Obviously, those are being damaged out as well. And now Johnny's like, I want to go get these kill points. These are mine. I can get 2 kill points out here. If not anything, I can, you know, dish out the time against my opponents, and obviously I can get that for me. The grenade was lofted, but you could see it was along the sides of the road, so it did not hit the opponents as per se. But Nocto opens up the door once again for the players, and this time the finish will be happening. But NFPSKY, TG is taking over right. Zulkar, what can he do as long as he's surviving out in this location? Look at the rotation that Johnny has been doing.
Wow.
Circling around on Zulkar, and now this is a 1v1 fight. Why did he... Alright, so he did arrive here, but he just came to loot, and obviously now he'll be having a bike to just, you know, move forward though.
Well, that was just perfect play coming in from Johnny. We just followed the camera, of course, followed him throughout his rotation, and he made for a complete 360 approach towards the back end right there of Zulkar, and doing so has resulted in his team getting 2 points, of course. But with that, FS Tyrant and Respect, 2-man strong right now, are going to be working towards, well, just survive, mate. Just try and survive, because the circle is going to be closing in a matter of 30 seconds, 35 seconds. And with that, it is now going to be probably Regicide that will be moving towards the side of FreeStyle's player. And if FreeStyle end up deciding to bring a bit more of retaliation, a bit more, and yes, they do.
Well. Now it comes down to one thing, and that is, you know, they were trying to get inside the circle. They did get inside the circle, but the thing is, the time that was just dished out onto those other areas, it kind of just became something of a tricky affair. Now Johnny goes down as F4 Voltrix had an off angle right onto the opponents, and now Regicide might just be in a lot of trouble. And talking about the Sanhok again, it is firing up on all cylinders. Already the players going down and everything happening. We are not even down to the 10-minute marker, and we can sense so much of a chaos coming onto the way. A storm is brewing up in these areas, and yes, Maxi, he's down out here. He knows he can create something. He knows he can create an opening. He knows that that grenade can do something if given the opportunity. Well, FreeStyle goes down. The grenade was lofted just a bit onto the longer side, but now the thing is, he's going for another one.
He certainly is, and with that, of course, his team also helping him along with this push, and that is going to be perfectly set up because they have the upper hand, which is going to be the hill advantage. But is that going to help them? Yes, it certainly does. Avenger OP brings down another player, leaving only StarX's 2-player for now, and those 2 are only going to be able to survive for that long because that was perfect burst control.
Wow, that was brilliant. Now it's just one player surviving. Can he actually take the players down? He is down to a 1v. He did a 1v3 though,
right.
But then he has been taken down as well. Now NES. Now it's like StarXOPS. Can they go for this one? But NFP is coming from behind. NES Hammer. They are like the player is hell bent on taking that one player down. If he can actually just go with this one, the grenade might as well be arriving out there. But the damage is being done slowly and steadily. But a grenade, he's still surviving. 71 damage. He's surviving on 4 HP somehow because he was on to. All right, well, Magnus does the job though. NFP is out here, but will NES Hammer really go for the revive? So the revive is happening as well. NFP on from the back end side. Now it's just one thing, and that is the last player was taking over fight. He is pretty close to NFP now. That
is true. And on the other side, of course, for NES, there is a lot of trouble brewing because Magnus has ended up resulting in being the one that has been knocking down players of North Esports. And once again, it is Adil who has Adil who has brought another player towards the side of NES down to his knees, and NES will now have to defend this compound from the push, and Magnus is in control. Adil and Oreo bringing in knocks again and again. No confirmation kills, but Weekend probably is going to be able to confirm that kill. Yes, he does, and with that, retaliation has been brought in. Both the teams are now 3v3 situation. Utilities are being lodged from both the sides, but eventually none of them are hitting the mark as of now. North Esports were outside in the compound, have now gotten themselves inside, and they are in a single house from the looks of it, and that again brings up the same conversation. If a perfect 3-4 utilities are lodged, NES will be brought down not only to their knees, but sent back into the lobby.
Trying to go for everything good as well. They are, just trying to go in this one, but we still have to see, how does damage actually eventually just keep on increasing as the third circle is going to be coming up anytime soon, less than 35 seconds. That's also one of the things. But right now, as you can see, NES's players, they are pretty close to Magnus, just like you were describing it. And now Magnus wants to move up forward. But the thing is, Hammer has a really good angle for himself, but Erangel OP, he is taking a good TPP against Weekend. If Weekend tries to move up from the direction, Erangel can take him down. But right now, the throwables will be using. Yes, they are just out there, but Snow goes down. Well, the players are burning as well. StarXOPS is still out there. He wants to be away from the fire, and he did go down away from the fire though, but the damage has been done. Imagine someone just comes down and the final player surviving actually just bursts down the gas can. That would do the damage as well. But now Hammer, he's just out there, but from the back end side, he can be spotted down by the players. So it's a tricky affair where Ahmed is. He needs to watch his back. Otherwise he might just go down.
And it seems like NFP has heard a lot of commotion coming on towards this side, and it is probably going to be NFP that will be utilizing this opportunity where NES as well as Magnus are down to 3-man army, but will they be able to walk out of the situation? NFP has reached the compound. They are a 4-man strong, and they are, of course, going to be bringing in that annihilation. Once again, NFP, a dominating force in this lobby as we're moving away from one game to the other. This team has their crosshairs set towards not only NES, but towards Magnus as well. And now Magnus could very well be able to either utilize this position or be at the receiving suffering end.
The molly was so close to them. It was so close to them onto the areas. Now another molly did just arrive, but it's not just touching them. But now the splash damage comes in as the grenade was lofted. It did do the damage, but it did not do the job. Now they know where they actually have to just, keep on throwing the grenades. Another one goes down. One goes down. There it is. NES goes down. Again, the domination coming on to NFP. How is this team playing? And look at Magnus. They are running away. They know now we don't want to fight. It's NFP here. We don't want anything to do with that team.
That is so true. Magnus, as soon as they found the opportunity, they ran away from that situation as they saw the kill feed being, of course, popped up by one player after the other of NFP bringing in that domination. They were like, all right, mate, we're probably done.
How many kills does NFP has? Because they had 4 kills previously.
From Stalwart, and now 3 more kills from North Esports. So that already gives them a lead of 7 points.
That's brilliant. Now talk about this one. Till the end of the game, they might as well just go for a double digit if all the players, and judging by the looks, the way the team is playing, they can survive. And we were talking about this, right? They're at the 4th position in the overall.
Right.
They would want to contest top 3. They can do that. Well, that's one thing that we were talking about. Yesterday as well, Team Bablu was caught off by the circle and the players now as well. As you can see, the zone is damaging the players. That's just one thing. But hey, Walker, he did spot down one. He wanted to take up this fight, and now he's just moving up forward. But no. That was a bait. That was a bait. Edgar takes him down. Edgar finishes him up. Now the reload comes down, spots down 2 players, but no, he goes down as well. And now this is where you will be getting points, you will be losing points. The fights are happening back and forth.
Boy, oh boy, what a perfect bait that was coming in from this side. And eventually, of course, it is TUF at the receiving end where the players have been knocked down. Thor is so far away. So is, of course, the other side. And that is going to be Venom come back into the game. But will Thor be able to survive? Will R3D allow them? As of now, Anubis, Virus, as well as Joker are maintaining their position. They are not wanting to push on along, even though they had the information that they were able to knock down 2 players. They should be.
Well, the players are being taken down.
Oh, yes, they are.
So, if we just talk about this, TUF comeback. You know, this was the guy who survived the longest in the last game. But this time, when the zone is not their friend, it might just be a tricky affair.
Absolutely. And talk about TUF. Well, they are in a very tricky situation with 2-man strong. But talk about NFP. They brought their aggression down towards Magnus and were able to confirm that kill. But also Zarar in the kill feed popping up, where they seem to be bringing in a little bit of trouble for the side of NFP for now. But will that be confirmed into a kill? From now, not the case. But in doing this, well, R3D, they have lost that 1 man, and TUF have lost 2.
Well, somehow it's a lot of trouble. It's just, going up for the players. But as you can see, it's all right. Team Bablu, they are coming really, really close. All right, this is going to be something terrible as Team Bablu, the players are going down. And as you can see,
wow,
Team Bablu gets eliminated. R3D, brilliant. It just happened. The straight up wipe on Sanhok.
That was perfect. That was just like a scene out of a movie, a car jumping across all 3 players, Anubis, Joker and Virus, bringing in that domination towards that car. And in a matter of seconds, the car was blown. And with that, Bablu
team got eliminated in 2 seconds.
Yep, what a play. What a massive play that was. Now, again, move the conversation towards NFP. They do have those 7 kills and confirm those kills with the 4-man squad that they are. They are doing real good. They've got the information towards that car explosion, but there was also in the kill feed Zarar that was bringing in a little bit of trouble towards the side of Ash. Now, again, will they be able to retaliate towards that? Because we do not exactly know where Zarar is, but for now, they do need to be working towards the circle, and that is what these teams are doing.
I would love to see one thing. H2 and Zarar, they don't have any kills, right? But they have all the players surviving. So are they going to go for a game that's more bent on to the placement point side? Because they might just get... Because 5th circle is where the fights will be happening for sure. And that's where they will, just try to get those skill points for themselves. Look at Team Zarar. They are at a good area for themselves. But Zarar Zigzag is pretty close to H2E's players as well.
Exactly. And that is where a 4v4 could very well, skirmish could be brought out. But again, I mean, that is going to be based on Zigzag's trigger control. Will he be doing so or not? Well, therefore, there he is. He's walking back away from that situation. He's going to let H2E have that compound because the circle is what will be favoring Zarar as they are that much more closer. And if H2E does move on towards the side of that same exact compound and rotation, it will be Zarar that will be there ready to receive and bring out that domination. But again, they are also 4 men strong, so that is going to be working in their favor. Talk about NFP. NFP have just been miraculous, absolutely perfect every single time. They are certainly taking shots, they are certainly getting knocked, but they do stand up, they do push on, and they do keep on winning those fights again and again and again. And with that, now it seems that they have taken a fight against the side of R3G. On the other side, Magnus have that 3-man strong army, and they seem to be now blocking Zarar's rotation as Zarar wants to come inside the circle.
Trying to take up the good fights is what the players are trying to do. Right now, with Magnus' audio, still, just trying to take up onto the players, onto the opponents. But TG Obol obviously takes down Zarar Myth, and that is one confirmation that just happened. Magnus, meanwhile, it sounds like obviously they kind of know where their opponent was, so they just want to keep their eyes onto that area. But Zigzag, one more bullet can actually do the job for that individual lad as well.
Well, GG indeed. I mean, right here, Magnus's Oreo is waiting to confirm that kill, but seems like his kill will be certainly taken away from him, as there was another team that was bringing in that wonderful spray towards the side of Zarar, and Zarar on the receiving end out in the open are not yet inside the circle, but are still a 4-man strong army. So that is, of course, working in their favor, whereas on the other side, Magnus have this perfect compound, have the cover of that compound. Not only that, but the circle also working in their favor.
Well, the Molly is being thrown down onto R3G's side. Joker was out there, but the Molly is going to just, move away from them. Sky still just trying to, find a good area, and the guy has 4 kills, obviously. One more kill can make his, get up onto his rampage mode for the fight. Well, comeback was onto the back inside. I don't know if he just spotted him down or not, but Zarar Zigzag goes down. All right, Oreo's last bullet did actually just touch him down. Professor will be out there just to revive him. Hakun outside the circle, still trying to heal himself. I don't know how many first aids does that lad have, but still, it's kind of a thing.
Absolutely, and R3G, Hucker as well as Joker for now are probably busy with that fight, but NFP on the other side are bringing domination towards the side of Regicide, and NFP once again bringing that name again and again and again into that kill feed. You talk about teams getting eliminated. We've got the Grounders being sent into the lobby as they made that rotation towards the circle itself. Were not able to do so. Carter on the other side for NFP has been knocked. They seem to have a pretty good control of this hill, and R3G on the other side is maybe going to be able to contest them, but right now it is NFP just holding their ground, not bringing any sort of changes to that hill or their approach to the game. But talk about knocks being brought in, there are certainly so many kills where indeed TUF are bringing in a lot of annihilating plays towards R3D.
Well, you can see Khatir being taken down, but now Joker will be going down as well. You wake up and you go to sleep. That's what is happening with Joker. I mean, talk about this one. He is down. Well, I mean, he just wants the whole of that kill just by himself. That's one thing that he's trying. Harker still, reaches inside the circle. That's one thing that he has done. R3D Anubis is out in this location, right pretty close to the place of NFP. Talking about NFP, they did lose one player, but the thing is, they have nine kill points, down to 4 teams. FreeStyle, Magnus, R3D, and NFPSKY. NFPSKY can go for back-to-back wins.
Absolutely. It is a 3v3v 2v1 situation where indeed you talk about Regicide. He is outside the circle and has been spotted and will be knocked. Thus, bring in Zarar. That has been sent back into the lobby. And also this team now bringing that to just 3 teams remain. Of course, Magnus still have that compound working in their favor, but they are inside, and NFP are going to be controlling from the outside.
The damage was being done by the grenade onto these areas as well. But talk about this one. You can see Respect. Oh, he did try to spot up a few players, and he knows that he's the one who actually has a good angle to damage out the players of NFP. But a smoke has been done onto himself so that he can just move up forward, take over against Magnus as well. Right now, the most important thing is for NFP to get inside the circle. They are pretty far away from the circle, and that's one of the most important steps. Pretty close to this location. What is happening? All right, the molly was being tossed onto the other direction. Now Tyrant knows that the footstep did arrive. Now he knows that the opponent is right next to him. So next time a throwable comes down, it should be onto the compound that's pretty close to him. So he will be looking forward to that one. But no, onto the other side. NFPSKY is just moving up forward. Low on HP, but high on morale. What is this guy doing? Oh, Magnus gets eliminated.
What a massive turnover wins this has been. NFP has brought that control once again in their favor. There were utilities being thrown towards the side of Magnus, but eventually the way this turned out to be for NFP is phenomenal. Now it is a 3v2 situation where indeed they do know on the other side of that hill or that hut is going to be the last team surviving. They know they're a 3-man army, and looking at the info, they know that the other team is only going to be a 2-man strong squad. So of course, the find-out approach once again is what we can expect from the side of NFP for now.
Well, NFP, they are trying. One good grenade can actually end the game right now, as Respect and Tyrant were a bit close to each other. But now we still have to see what happens. This is going to be a tough situation as the circle is favoring NFP. All they have to do is just stay there and get the game for themselves. A grenade did damage Tyrant right now, but Respect, he's still surviving. But for how long can he survive? Look at this. The smokes are being popped out because they want those skill points. They don't want the circle to end the game. They want those skill points for themselves. And by the looks of it, Tyrant goes down. It's one player, Respect, but he has an M249. Will he do the damage? Falls down one, takes one down. M249 for the win for this individual. Takes another one. Can he do that? Can he do that? He's out there low on HP. As of now, just gonna go for the chase. Takes another one. 45 bullets by this individual, and no!
It is NFP. It is eventually NFP. That was a really good control. That was the perfect play.
How did that happen?
Boy, oh boy. NFP once again taking a chicken dinner with 14 total kills, 1999 total damage. But boy, oh boy, the final fight, it was a 3v2 affair. But that player of FS was so in control of that fight. Phenomenal turn of events. Just only if he had a bit more health in his favor, he would have been able to knock the team off NFP. But eventually, NFP walking away with one more chicken dinner with 14 kills.
I had an adrenaline rush right now just casting this game. How did that happen?
Wow.
How did that happen? Oh my god, I need a breather. Trust me, I need a breather if anything.
Dude, I mean, of course, I do think everybody does after that fight because, again, the way that turned out to be, FS, they were at a loss in terms of the squad members, in terms of the positioning, in terms of their approach. But the way they were able to still be able to bring that team down was phenomenal. Eventually, of course, it was NFP to be able to get that chicken dinner. But boy, oh boy, what a play. With that, let's move on to the MVP for today's game. And this game of Sanhok. MVP goes towards Skydish.
That shot, he did do good. 886 damage, 4 kills, 413 healing done. I still cannot believe what I just saw. 2 assists by this individual lad. Let's have a look at the top players as well. I would love to see, is there someone from FS out here in this one? Because the
Has
way
to be.
Respect is out there. 1 kill, 700 damage. 700 with just 1 kill.
Dude, that was phenomenal play. Respect indeed for this player. But on the other side, of course, NFP, they were the one who started this kill. They were the ones who started the domination. And it was Ash as well as Deadshot bringing in those kills, 6 and 4 kills respectively for both these players. But Regicide, Joker, was not that far behind. With only 18 minutes of survival time, he was able to knock down 5 players. Beautifully done. With that, of course, go down towards the match ranking. NFPSKY Esports, a second chicken dinner for this team. 14 kills in total, 15 placement points, of course, leading them 29 points. But FS, boy oh boy, that was a phenomenal play.
That was brilliant from both the teams. You can say nice try, GG, well played, but you know it, FS gave it all in.
Yes.
They gave it all in. I don't know if we could just, slow motion, show the final fight in slow motion. He did do damage on the last player as well.
Yes,
it's
quite
just,
a lot.
It's just one thing that last player... The way he was on low HP, that was the only thing. Otherwise, it would have been his
Had he
game.
had like 70, 75, 80% HP, I think FS's players' respect would have been able to clutch that victory. But boy, oh boy, with that you move on towards the final page of this match ranking. You are looking at Stalwart Flex. That was the first team to get sent back into the lobby, and StarX, thus they do not get any points. But Team Bablu, I mean, we saw that perfect in the air approach that they had. But they only walked away with 1
First
kill.
team to be sent in the level, that to by NFP.
Yep,
Again,
by
that to by
NFP.
NFP. That was just brilliant. We're looking forward to the damage histogram as well to see, the damage graph, to see where the damage and the kill points were with the team and everything. And look at this, 199 and 2000. This is like
amazing, absolutely amazing. But indeed, you talk about FreeStyle, they are at 4 kills, 1165 was their total damage, but Regicide, 1363 damage with 6 kills.
Wow, let's talk about this. I mean, every team gave up the good fight. Every team gave good fight for themselves. But somehow, see, some ups and downs, goods and bads, uglies and crazies. It happened. It just happened.
Wow. But, I mean, still reeling from that final fight, eh? Wow. With that, let's of course go on and have a look at the Oppo moments that were part of this game. And right off the bat, of course, we're going to see Stalwart just perfectly walking into that trap.
Bait.
Yep, the trap set up by NFP.
The bait that just happened, and it was something. And here also it was Deadshot that started off everything. It was Deadshot to end up everything.
Yep.
Just think about this. Wow, and this was Layer Johnny just, moving all around from the circle, but then he went out in the same exact spot. You remember the shots that were being taken down on him.
Right, exactly, and that resulted in, of course, FS Tyrant and the, of course, other player Respect being the only ones who survived for FreeStyle, but they survived for the longest time as they moved along in that fight. And again, you talk about North Esports, that was a good fight they took against the side of StarX, but eventually North Esports was also third-partied by another team.
I love casting this region sometimes. I love casting it, the way, the rushes happen, the way... I think we're going to be seeing that fast squad vibe as well. The one that happened after this one for sure. Somehow, I don't know, because that was behind Paradise Resort, only the players moving up forward. I think we might as well just see that or something like that. I don't know, in a while probably. But once that will be out there, like there was so many key moments that just happened. Look at this. Some key moments that just happened. Like, I don't know.
GG play. It was a GG play coming in from so many of these teams that were in control. Of course, NFP's player was brought down from the side of Regicide, but eventually this is the fight where it seemed like NFP were in control. They had already knocked 1 player. Respect was the only man surviving.
Look at this.
And this.
Look at this.
Is the
Taking
play.
down 1 low HP, 55 bullets, makes it 45 right now, 10 bullets to do the job. And he did damage. He did damage him out, like taking down to 50 HP, but it was just a matter of a few more shots, a few more HPs. OP.
OP indeed. I mean, respect certainly deserves the respect right now because the way that lad played for the side of FreeStyle was phenomenal. The points that he's been able to walk away for the team are phenomenal as well because the team certainly needs those. They need those placement points. With that, they got 4 kills. So eventually, when you talk about the overall kills, overall ranking, it is the kill department as well as the other that is going to bring FreeStyle to 6th position.
This is where you can say, you know, FreeStyle won the hearts even if like NFP won the game. Like this is the exact thing that this comes down. And FreeStyle, like, impressive. I don't know, it actually became a shivering moment. As of now, I'm still in the shock. I would love to see once again the way it just happened or something, I don't know, but 132 is where F4 is. For sure, you know, they are looking really strong. NFPSKY, they just moved down to top 3. Another good game. They might as well just start contesting the top position or something like that.
Absolutely. We still got 2 more games remaining on, of course, the maps of Miramar and Erangel once again, where indeed we could see the team of Stalwart Flex come online. We could very well see either F4 or RMP or NES or Magnus because, again, all of these teams are showcasing some wonderful turnover wins, wonderful plays from themselves, and that is, of course, working in their favor as they get themselves set up to be on the top of the leaderboard. Talk about having a good day. I mean, that's how we started off the entire stream today with. There was no chance one team could have done that.
South
and
Asia.
Now you have another no chance situation going on from the side of NFP.
South Asia wildcard had back-to-back 3 contenders from no chance. Today it might be NFP in Pakistan. If we just talk about this one, I mean, the way the team has been playing, and first game chicken dinner, second game chicken dinner, it's impressive.
Yep.
One of the best dominating performances that I have seen in a while. It's happening today. And just as I was saying, right from the first game that was in South Asia Wildcard, I told this to Johnny as well as he was casting with me. I said this thing, today is the day of establishment.
Exactly.
A team has to change the game. It's always in the middle day because that's where the caution curve takes you. First day, you form up everything. Second day, you form up everything. Third day, you establish yourself. Fourth and fifth day is where you stay at that position.
You
because
cement
that's,
that
you cement that one. Because that's where the prize pool and everything, the slots and everything, it just comes down to that. So today is the day of the biggest turn-ups and everything. NFP is doing that.
NFP is doing it so beautifully, perfectly on point. That team has been thus far. Of course, now the conversation will be in the chat as well. Do you think they might be able to get this Miramar game as well? I mean, what's stopping them? I do not know. The kind of stats that they're moving along with from one to the other is just beautifully gorgeous to see. But with that, it is, I believe, time to go on a very, very short break, after which, of course, we will be joining you guys with the 3rd game on day number 3, which, of course, will be on Miramar. Hello and welcome back once again to game number 3 of Miramar, where indeed we are in the PUBG Mobile Club Open, and this is the Pakistan region, all thanks to Rena 5 Pro. But boy, oh boy, what a game we have just witnessed. And now the conversation will be, well, what team is going to be standing out in this game, where of course the flight path is moving towards the western side, where it is going to east, of course. And talking about drop locations, Bablu has taken their exit towards the side of Vela Del Mar all by themselves. TUF we can see going down towards Chumasera region, apparently it seems like. Again, you move towards the conversation of Magnus. Magnus is down south of Montenueno, and there is no other team to contest them for that location as of now. You talk about North Esports. North Esports is also going to be perhaps moving towards the same region that TUF is, and that is where we could probably see some early contestations. Talk about the circle. The circle has been created, and Los Leones is going to be the center.
It is going to be the central area right now for the Zone 2B as of what it is. But talk about the other situations, right? If we talk about the team that's going to go out there, that's Stalwart Flex, and they have NES pretty close to them. Team StarXOPS are going to be just, dropping onto the sides of La Benta to Los Leones area. Impala is where H2E is. NFP. A good thing. They want to play this a bit safe and obviously want to go for another chicken. So they are going to be dropping down to Campo Milta, Tierra Bronca, those areas. And from there, they have a really open area till Junkyard. That is to touch the circle. Then moving on to the edge, to the edge. That sounds like a really, really good plan for them to go forward to. And talking about FS, you can see Respect, Vegeta, Tyrant. They have a good area around Graveyard to Minas Generales. But Team Bablu, they can go for a southern drop for themselves. And all right. Zooming up on the players. Brilliant.
Well, that was H2E right there that we saw. That was very close to the other team indeed. But eventually, again, I mean, the early aggression that we could very well see could be the side of the Zarar as well as the Grounders, because they were on towards the western side of the map itself, and they were very, very close. As of now, we are, of course, looking at Magnus's players, and Magnus is looking to, of course, get themselves set up with the best of the best loot, as are all the other teams in the lobby for now. Again, when it comes to this game, we are looking at 14 teams, and this is also, well, Miramar, thus implying it could be a long game.
It could be. I mean, it also still depends, right, how the players are going to be playing it. Because if they spot someone going to go for the clutches and all, they can easily go for that. Well, H2E, the players are still out there, and now they hear those footsteps, and so they understand that it might not be my house. That's what Ati knows right now. He goes forward, opens the door, now goes forward, closes the door, stays there, wait for the cover to arrive, and probably after that he might as well just take up a fight.
Exactly. He certainly got the information based on the sound audio cues. That is H2E's Ati, who is slowly going to be moving towards the side of StarXOPS. But eventually, StarX also are going to be separating themselves from this early contestation. And as we can see in the mini-map, they are rushing on to the other side altogether as well. And that gives Ati some sort of breather for now as he starts getting himself set up with the loot, and his backup has already arrived. But they do not know yet that the team of StarX have decided to, well, basically vacate the premises and give them the advantage. That's going to be towards the side of H2E, because StarX also, we only saw 2 players. The other 2 players might be a bit far away, and they did not want to take that fight with a 4v2 situation. Again, it is best for now. It is just 4 minutes in, so it is certainly best for now to not get into random early aggression and move on towards a better control, a better compound, a better utility control, and then finally take a fight as a unit, as a whole. When you talk about these team fights, move back towards Magnus. We're looking at Weekend, who has already gotten himself really good setup. He's got level 2, as well as level 3 vest. So that is working in his favor. And Magnus is now going to start rotating out of that region.
I mean, anything for the start of the game, right? You can have level 1 stuff as well. But the most important thing is, do you peek when someone has a bolt action right on your hand? Because, you know, if that is there, it might just be a bit of a mistake, right? Sometimes that just happens. But, well, we'll still see about that thing, because it's Miramar, bolt actions, DMRs, long-range sprays. You have to keep your eyes, ears open just for one thing, and that is, the fights that might just come down on you. Well, that's going to be just one thing, but right now, as we can see, NES's players are still out here. Stalwart onto the other direction. R3D having a good area for themselves. TG is just, onto the edge of the circle. They can just very well, hold against R3J if R3J wants to move up onto the direction. F4 has a decent area for themselves. Given the fact F4 wants to move to Picaro, they can do that. Otherwise, it does not see much of an open space for them, except for if they want to rotate to Los Lunas. The middle portion is pretty much open, but we know this.
They don't.
They don't.
They certainly don't.
Like, this is the gamble, right?
Right, yes.
Every team will be thinking that we can get through this, that, and all those. But that still is a gamble. You don't know from where the shots might just come down on you.
Absolutely, and that, of course, is the gamble that these players do end up taking, and thus they end up confirming those drop locations and their rotations, because that is what gives it away, yet keeps them secure in their own comfort zone, so to say. But again, I mean, you talk about H2E as well as StarX. All the other players of StarX have certainly left that compound, but it is only God OP who has kept himself very close to that, and of course that's probably going to be based on to get the information for his teammates as to what was that team. Are they moving towards that location? You talk about Magnus, they have moved away from that southern Montenuevo region that they were in, having had a decent loot, but with that we've got the first kills coming in right here, and that is going to be the grounders that will be taking a lot of damage.
Joker's HP barely surviving right now, but once he puts up the first hit, he will be looking forward to finish the opponent. Yes, that did happen, and all the teammates of his team will be moving up slowly and steadily forward, and all they have to do is this time, you know, they know the fights inside the circle. You remember last time when Johnny took a lot of time just to move right from the back end direction, so they would love to do that. You can see Johnny once again creating a flank angle. Machapatar, oh, he goes down, as Insane was the one taking down, but the Mini 14 was also doing damage on the direction. Well, R3D, if they win this fight, they get the golden Mirado as well. You know, the swaggy vehicle. If you want to just, move on to the sides of Miramar. Well, Johnny, his flank angle has been compromised right now because his location has been compromised as well as he was moving up forward. But now R3G, all the players are moving up onto the other direction. Honey's out there. Johnny versus Honey. This might be a fight. On to the other side, Honey's just using some grenades. But the thing is, only cover that he has is himself. And there are just two players. Oh, he does spot down one. And the damage was done perfectly. If Joker was still peeking, he would have been taken down.
Exactly. You've got Mini versus Mini going on right here between these two teams. That is going to be Honey against Joker, because we saw Joker also had a Mini, and he was the one who was receiving at the receiving end from the side of Honey for now. But it seems like Johnny has finally made that rotation work for himself, and that flank angle is going to be approached on top of Honey, and with that, Honey goes down, and alongside that, Regicide, being probably the first team in this lobby right now, that is probably going to be confirming themselves. Well, a first team.
I mean, that's brilliant. They just left one player, and they are moving up forward so that the last player who's surviving, he gets a bit of a, anxiety situation, because he's like, should I go for the confirmations? What should I go for? And that was something that they wanted to go for a mind game, but Johnny has been taken down right now. And now let's see how the situation is going to be just, moving up forward. As you can see, now R3G is moving up forward, but oh, well, can he take up the fight all on his own self? Because he has just one ridge for his cover and one tree if he wants to make that his cover. But now the revive will be just coming up onto Johnny's side, as Insane is out there, but no, the players want to move forward. They want to take up this 1v2 situation right in their hands, as Insane and Nocto are still out there trying to move up. This straight away sounds like an R3G's game, but TG, if he can actually just, pull up a miracle, he can take one more play down, but no, he tried though. He tried, but this is the first wipe happening.
Absolutely, and that, of course, is going to be... well, Regicide, who is going to be walking away with all four players alive, and that was a neat push coming in from them. They were able to knock down players, they were able to get that information and convert those into perfect kills. That is just the way you want to play. Now talk about Zarar, as they get closer and closer towards the side of Regicide. That is going to be an interesting turn of events. Will Zarar want to take that early aggression, because R3's, well, there it is. Zarar is certainly taking those shots towards the side of Regicide, and that could be disastrous for either of these teams. That we shall have to wait and see. But alongside that, we now also have third-party situations brewing, because NFP has started that rotation as well. And in that, we go back to the same exact hill where TG was just sent back into the lobby. Now we've got Nocto and Joker and the likes who will be facing against Zarar for now.
Players are just out here, and talking about Team Bablu, well, you can see the fights were happening against MSPK was taken down as of now, but R3G, I want to see if they can, just gather more and more kills as of now, because the only thing that they need is momentum. Once they have that, they can obviously just, move forward with it. Talking about Zarar, Myth here has been taken down by Johnny this time, so the off angles that were being created previously are actually looking really good, as Johnny was just a bit away from the teammates, but he was looking really, really good when we talk about the fights right now. Nocto has 2 kills. He would love to take more for his team and for himself. Obviously, the domination and the rampage will be just arriving, but right now the grenades being used to perfection. Obviously, they are just out there just to create the diversions against the players. And our Joker, he needs a gun now. Has a Thompson, and he should take a 1v1 with Myth as he's just moving up forward. But does Myth know this? Does Myth know this? That is the question. Professor has an M16, can use those tap shots, but when it comes to close ranges, it should be the AR. But Joker, look at how close he is. But on from the other side, Zarar goes on by Nocto, who was onto the back end side, and now comes down one thing, and that is Zigzag. His HP is also really low right now.
Well, GG's indeed. I mean, I was about to point out that I'm loving the way Zarar has fanned themselves off, but it is Regicide who are in control every single time when you talk about a fanned out approach, and that is how they approach any of these fights. And with that, of course, it is Zarar Professor, the final man remaining, but not any longer. With that, this team has just in a matter of 3 minutes confirmed 2 teams, 8 points to this team already, and Regicide is looking really strong.
They already have wiped out everything completely, plus no casualties from their side. Yeah, the thing is that they're outside the circle, but now they know that no fights are out there. They can take a few buggies and all those things and just, start running up ahead. Plus, they'll be having so many, first aids, ammo, utilities that they want to use. That's going to be one good thing. And if we look at that, they are still playing it just a bit slow onto the side. F4, meanwhile, the players going down. Wolverine and Vortex have been taken down. Khan and Destroyer, the 2 players surviving. And Destroyer, as you can see, he's in the city of Lost Leonas, given the fact that the circle is going to go just a bit to the southern side. Let's see how they play it.
Exactly, and right now, of course, when you talk about this contestation, there are a lot of fights taken across in the center or the southern part of Los Leones as of now. H2E, we can see, is also wanting to step into this destruction that is being created in this ruckus, but of course, we would want to see those fights happen. As of now, when it comes to the map itself, there's only so much of information that is being relayed, where indeed you're looking at FS, you're looking at StarXOP, you're looking at Stalwart. They are all set up in that small little area, all next to each other, and alongside that we've got the second airdrop coming in and a very important gun in there, which is going to be the AWM, and that whoever gets their hands on will certainly want to keep a steady pace with that, because again, we've seen certain taps that have been phenomenal when it comes to the group stages. And right now, as we move along with the regional, it is going to be a gun, especially on the map of Miramar, that you do want to have in your control.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. And just as I was saying, the circle's going to go a bit south, and there it is. And now is going to be a good area for the zone to play its game. When we talk about this one, you can see half the circle is onto the mountains, whilst half is in the city side.
Right.
So teams in the city side, it's a gamble. Teams will be thinking the circle will go to the city side, so mountain teams will be in a bit of a trouble. Now, if the circle goes to the mountain side, teams from the cities will have to come out in the open, and then they have to move on to the mountain. So it just becomes one thing like, where can you hold yourself down to? Talking about F4, they lost the 2 players. Khan is out here, Destroyer onto the other direction as well. Stalwart Flex, they have a good area for themselves. They would want to change what happened in the previous game and want to survive a bit more. Talking about the team's survival status. 12 teams are alive. 8 to 12, you get 1 placement point. So that's what all teams have to look forward to right now, because if you get taken down right now, only 1 placement points, plus minus kills that you have.
Absolutely, and with that, in another 5 seconds, we will be seeing another shift in the circle itself, and that is, of course, going to decide for so many of these teams' fate when it comes to the map of Miramar. For now, of course, we're looking at Stalwart Flex, and of course, the kind of positioning that they've got for themselves is certainly working in their favor. But as this circle drops in, where exactly is it going to go? Is it going to go away from them? And alongside that, it is StarXOP, where you're looking at Fury right now, going to confirm that kill onto the side of NFP. And this is Ash all by himself. All the other teammates seem to have left him. Yes is the answer, and that is not what we expected from the side of NFP. But eventually, it seems like Ash has, of course, taken the knock, but that was mainly because of the rotation, perhaps, that they were bringing in. It was a late rotation from the side of NFP, and perhaps Star X Fury was ready, and certainly were bringing that into their favor, as the rotation from NFP was, well, they were oblivious to that fact.
Yeah, that's just happened. You can see Nocto goes down. Now this is the time when the momentum kind of just shifts away from the team. As we were just talking about R3D, they were looking really good. They had really good kills, but now they are the ones that were onto the other side of the kill feed. Getting up their own kills, being taken down. But slowly and steadily, as we talk about this one, Shin God has been taken down. He needs a revive as well. As we are just looking forward to everything slowly and steadily. But as we can just see and talk about the situations and the things, you can see the players are being taken down, and that is where the fights are going to be happening. But talking about StarXOPS, MK and Fury, they're trying to find up a good area for themselves. But the circle's coming up. Third zone damage. you know how it is.
Exactly, and that is what the crucial thing in this thing is right now, because again, the circle is certainly gunning for so many of these teams, from H2E to NFP to, of course, StarX, and that is what will be the situation as you move on along. NFP not looking good, Deadshot, the one man remaining right there in the open, is going to stay as quiet as can and will probably want to make that rotation as late as possible for. They do not want to go down this easy or this early. But along with that, you talk about StarX. They seem to have made it to the edge of the circle. They seem to be working towards the top of the hill. And that, of course, they will want to contest for.
Behind them is NFP. Still playing by the sides of the blue zone. Still trying to find up a good area. And now the circle goes out in the open in the mountains, just as we were saying. Now comes down to the things that the teams that were out on the city side. How do we contest the hill? Because it's totally open. There are no more shacks, no more areas. Only covers you're going to get is ridges and all. But driving onto the ridge, it's not that good, right? So how do you rush in the open? So it kind of becomes a tricky thing now.
Exactly, and in that, of course, you are going to have to use a lot of your utilities to keep yourself on the upper hand advantage, along with which, of course, talking about upper hand, you need to have that hill advantage as well, that height advantage as well.
Yeah.
And that is what StarXOPS, as we saw, as they got themselves in the circle, was working towards. Of course, on the side of Stalwart, they tried that as well, but right now, StarX seems to be in better control of the situation, where they are bringing that aggression towards the side of H2E as well as Stalwart, and H2E has 3 players already knocked.
Plus, there's one more thing. If you feel like you are at the topmost hill, there's always another hill that's just, at your peak, and they are the players that will try and take it down. But look at this. Zarar just moving up forward, right for the fight, trying to spot on the players from H2E if he can. But right now, all Zarar can do is just, dish out the location and just talk about the things. He has an AKM and an M4. Spots on one, takes him down. That was brilliant. But hey, the throwables were being taken down onto his side. What's going to do? It was a smoke or a grenade. Whether it was a grenade, but now AKM being used to perfection. There it is. He wipes him out. Now the only thing he has to do is get inside the circle.
Yep, I mean, if only that nade had been cooked a bit more, because it was placed perfectly. It was placed exactly at Zyro's location, but if it were cooked more, as soon as he dropped out of that buggy, he would have been able to get that confirmed kill, or at least some damage that would have pushed or retaliated against that push. But nevertheless, you talk about Bablu right now, talking about rotations, talking about being caught into those high hill advantages. That's exactly what's happening between Bablu and NES as of now. As we can clearly see, it is not esports with all 4 members alive and only 1 member, that is going to be Pika, who will have to be the one-man army for the side of Bablu. NES will not allow that team to get out of that situation that easy, because again, he wants to get those kills, he wants to convert those into points.
Somehow, if you talk about Team Bablu, right, the revives are just coming up right now, but the thing is, Circle's also coming. You kind of need to see and think on your feet. Will Danny be revived? Or what, what's going to happen? Because if the team moves up forward, NES is ready. And then Stalwart from the back end direction. So the fights are going to be happening. They have a van, though, and a buggy as well. So it just comes on this tricky thing. Will the scout just rush forward and the team follows the scout? Or will the team just go in one van, something like that, because the zone's still arriving? So you kind of need to, just think about all those things, because a rotation, a fight, a rush, it takes a lot to strategize everything when it comes down to the fights.
Absolutely, and that is what is going to be working in favor of NES as of now, because they have that perfect setup on top of that hill, and as Bablu tries to get out of there, there will be one thing that NES will certainly be doing, and that will certainly be just burst damage, and that burst damage we can clearly see coming in right here, and that was not able to do a lot of damage. But of course the buggy has been damaged now, and they are still in the open. They have not been able to run away from that situation, and Bablu Pika, he was the one who was left behind, thinking the strategy again being that they will maybe get the information, and Pika would be the one who would want to retaliate against that aggression, but eventually it is Erangel who is just bringing in, dashing in a lot of damage, and he is also inside the circle.
Talk about FS, I mean, that team is at the central lines of the circle, right?
Yep.
Just as we were discussing about this one. So that's one thing, and NFP is arriving from the back end of the circle as well. That's another one. These 2 teams, except these 2 teams, all the teams are just outside the circle, onto the edges, onto their own lines. But look at the Stalwart Flex, all right. So the grenades are being thrown down onto Hammer's side. Well, damage. Oh, they do spot each other. They do spot each other, but Flex is him. Well, he's getting shot at from the other direction, and he goes down. The Tyrant was onto the back end side, tries to take him down. He does take him down, and now the confirmation will be just arriving, and he gets his kill for himself.
Absolutely, and that has resulted in FreeStyle bringing in that kill at that point, and they are also in control of that circle, but they are in the open. All the other teams, they are going to be working towards getting into the zone, but alongside that, as they do so, there will be Stalwart that will be there to contest them. There will be FreeStyle that will be there to contest them. And talking about approaches, Magnus and TUF in a very deadly skirmish right there. We can see the Edgar has been brought down onto our left, and it is Magnus who seems to be in control of that fight. But North Esports is also taking their own fights with Stalwart Flex for now.
Well, you could see Snow just out there, just moving up forward. This might be a deadly 1v1. Obviously, one of the players is going to go down, the one who spots each other one. But no, Snow, he was taken down, although he was the one to shoot first. Well, that just happened, and now it just comes down to one thing, and that is that the players that were going to be moving up forward, so they have good kill numbers for them. So talking about Regicide also, they have 8 kills as the ones that they actually took up in the first skirmish, in the first fight. But now, let's see, where does the game take each and every one?
Exactly, and right now it is, of course, Stalwart Flex that have been able to retaliate against that confirmed push coming in from the North Esports side, but were not able to confirm those points into their favor. Right now, it is North Esports who is all in the open, all by themselves. Stalwart Flex is on a bit of a receiving end. There is a lot of utilities being utilized. NFP has also entered the circle. There is only a one-man army for now. And with that, it is Stalwart Flex that are dominating the push from North Esports. And North Esports left down into the ruins. And alongside that, they will be eliminated and sent back into the lobby, leaving Stalwart Flex with 2-man strong as they push on along, and they are in the circle. There is no other team around them, so that's going to be working perfectly in their favor, but they are only a 2-man army, so they better take a very slow, low-key approach in this push. So does NFP, because that team only has 1 man remaining.
Indeed, it is happening as of now. But talk about this one, TUF. The players still, trying to move forward. All the 4 players surviving, and this time they would want to make it their game. But the thing is, the circle again is going to be playing up against the curveballs onto the players' mindsets. And talking about MJ's weekend, he's pretty far away from his own teammates, which might just be a bad news, given the fact, everyone needs their teammates in the final moments when the fights happen, when everything just, goes against the will of the people out here. Destroyer, the last one surviving. He can break the game of Regicide. Still on the trigger discipline, still waiting for the movement to happen. That is one thing that is going to be just, moving up forward. Insane still out there. All the players just rushed away. He's still sneaky. Not doing anything. But in less than 30 seconds, he also has to get inside the circle.
Exactly, he certainly does, and he's the only one remaining for his team. So, of course, he will want to keep himself alive for as long as possible. That's, of course, F4's Destroyer that we're talking about. Talk about FreeStyle, though. They have 3-man strong, and they are looking absolutely perfect as they have the control of the circle. They have the compound working in their favor, and now it is TUF and Magnus once again. The skirmish breaks out, where indeed it is TUF that are in control, and Magnus have only 1 player remaining.
Well, the team did go down, as we were just looking forward to the fights and all, and that was something that the elimination just followed up slowly and steadily. It was they had 1 player, but that was taken down from the other direction as well. So that's just one thing, and that was a wipe by TUF. That was a brilliant one. But now Crypto, he knows if there's a smoke, there are players.
Exactly.
No one smokes like that. So they're like, enemies ahead. Let's see who comes out, and let's see whose name can we actually take on the kill feed.
Exactly, and right here we're looking at Regicide once again, who has turned into a 3-man army, and that too 1 player is knocked in the open. So of course they're going to have to get themselves in a comfortable situation as they try and do so. It is TUF who was just trying to push alongside Destroyer, but TUF,
he's still surviving solo. Someone like no one knows what happened. But oh, the grenade! Where is the grenade? What is happening?
Did it just go inside the compound itself? It seemed like it went into the shack.
It did blast though, but it did not damage him.
For now, he is still surviving, though. Destroyer working it perfectly for his team. But you look at, of course, Stalwart Flex. They are at the upper hand in this fight as they take up against R3D.
Well, NFP still surviving. Respect takes on a Destroyer. We're down to 5 teams, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is going to be the 3rd game for today. And as you can see, this is a King of the Hill situation between the teams. NFPSKY, you can see the players' numbers are pretty low. That's why the forecast is not in their favor. But hey, they know how to pull off a miracle. They can do that. Or if there's going to be some other team that just just comes up forward, the ball is in the favor of FreeStyle. They want to get the revenge of the previous game. They want to be the best out here. They are the best out here. They would want to show that happening up right now. But still, it just comes down to one thing: where will the fights take everyone?
Exactly, and as they do so, NFP is on to the left, of course, and Stalwart, they are only a two-man army, but of course, they have the information towards R3D, and this is, of course, Crypto, who is bringing in that domination, but NFP's final player, that is Halsey, is all alone by himself, has not given away any information, even though he is right next to Stalwart. Stalwart has no idea, Crypto has no idea that there is one more team around him, as he tries to, of course, dominate just alongside the side of R3D. It is NFP's Halsey, who might be able to, but no, we just saw a utility being thrown towards that exact same place. So maybe his teammate does know that there is another player down there.
Well, Johnny takes down the kill, and R3D again, still in the fight, still in the fighting stance. If we give them a chance, they would love to, just go for this. That was a smoke that kind of held them. Well,
that's a weird smoke for.
I don't know. Well, that just but now the grenades are going up forward, and Halsey might be a bad thing as a grenade. All right, so well, it just bounced off, and now I want to see how many smokes does he have. But in less than 5 seconds, Circle might as well just, get the best out of him. It's going to be one of the most toughest situations to just fight around, but they are moving up forward. Stalwart Flex is moving up forward. Do they know right out on the back end side there's one player still surviving? But look at this. R3G taking up a fight against FS. Tyrant was taken down, but respect is out there. We know what this guy can do with an M249. Now it's time to see what he can do with an M4, as the fights are just going to be breaking up right about now, and the players are going to be contesting all these areas.
Exactly. It's a 3v3 situation. We see a perfect utility being thrown from the side of Respect, but eventually it is him who is at the receiving end from that cooked nade from the side of R3G, and that has now turned into a 3v2 situation where, of course, Respect has his teammate right next to him, so the revival will be coming on along, but alongside that, NFP has been brought down to their knees. It was Stalwart Flex who were able to dominate against that team, and that was that one man remaining. With that, we've only got 3 teams remaining as of now. We're looking at R3G, we're looking at FS, and of course Stalwart two-man army.
Stalwart's players are out there, but look at this. Reviews is actually pretty close to that area. Crypto, he has been spotted down. His HP is a bit low right now. R3G, they have 9 points for themselves. Stalwart with 12, FreeStyle with 7. This was a kill-hungry game for all the teams out here. We still have to see, which team just actually gets the best out of the other team right now, but the teams are still trying. Respect in a really good spot for him. So, he has a proper cover right in front of him, right to the sides of him, but can he actually get this game? I mean, this is a back-to-back top 3 finish for this team for sure, but they have to do even more, even better. A chicken dinner matters right now. Well, Crypto has been spotted down. One more shot could have taken him down, but no, he barely survives, really messes onto all the shots, and now he's going to be popping up a first aid, and after that, the movement is going to be a crucial one.
Absolutely, and right now, of course, R3G is taking a very slow, low-key snails approach as of now, and they are not wanting to move away from these mountain ridges. And on the other side, of course, FS is trying to dominate on towards the side of Stalwart, but Stalwart has moved away from that situation. So Respect, there is nobody there, mate. The team is going to be flanking alongside, or rather did try to flank. As Stalwart went down towards the right-hand side of that ridge, they realized, there's R3G waiting for us as well.
When that did just happen right now, but hey, 15 more seconds, 8 circles coming up. After this, obviously, it's going to be the heal battle if you can survive till then. R3G insane, popping up those smoke grenades for himself. I think R3G wants to just stay here, wants to stay calm and composed onto this location. But the thing is, how will Stalwart Flex, play the circle? Because talking about FS, they also have a good area for themselves. The zone is slowly and steadily shrinking up right now, and this seems like one thing, and that is what Stalwart has to do. They have to, like Crypto specifically, he has to spot someone. He has to create a bit of a chaos, and that chaos will indeed make up a chain reaction that might not just end up the fights for either of the teams. We have 3 teams surviving.
Exactly, and it is a 3v2 situation as of now. And again, it seems like the circle is certainly running away and gunning for the side of FS as well as R3G. So they are going to have to push on along. As we can slowly see, the circle is pushing them away from that compound. But Respect right now, bringing in the utilities, but is going to get boxed, and it is going to get out. And that is not going to do anything but waste that utility. But as they go towards the side, it is Stalwart. That would probably be ready.
This is going to be the 9th circle, slowly and steadily coming up, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to be ready for this one. As you will be seeing it, that this is going to be the heal battle zone. Slowly and steadily just coming up right now, as this is going to be in less than 10 seconds. FS is out there, Stalwart as well, and R3G. You can see all the 2 players out here. They just want to pop up the first aid for themselves. Insane and Joker, those pixels. But do they have first aids? I mean, Insane does not have. He's trying to move in the central area, just trying to get all those kills if he can. Johnny's out here, has nothing onto the department, but Playzone takes down one onto this one. Johnny might be the next one to go down. He's still trying to move up forward. He needs those kill points. Playzone taking down the players out in this location, but slowly and steadily, the Playzone is doing all the damage. But when he tries to take him down, but no, FS is ready for the fight, switching on to the guns, and they take a win. Previous game, second position. This game, chicken dinner, comes FreeStyle's way.
Absolutely, with perfect timing. That was just what was waited, and that was baited from the side of course, the circle itself. But indeed, with that, they've got 10 kills. This team moved on to the 4th position, have knocked off NFP from that 4th position for now. But FreeStyle walking away with 25 points and 1605 total damage dished throughout this game.
I mean, that was brilliant, the way the players played. And obviously, given the fact that, 9 circle was the heal battle circle, it kind of changes a lot of things, how the players just see this map, this game, and everything. Talking about Miramar, yeah, it's a longer map. Talking about the fact that you are seeing heal battles, yeah, that sometimes happens. Talking about the fact that one player has to just heal whilst the other one moves to take the kills,
right?
Like that's a good synergy build-up.
Absolutely. With that, let's move along and have a look at the most valuable player from this game, and that, of course, will move towards the side of Stalwart Flex, where it is Revis,
yeah,
with 5 kills.
5. And that's brilliant. 872 damage, 330 healing done, 1 assist as well. Stalwart Flex, yeah, the players that survived till the end, like they went top 3 obviously, and that create a lot of chaos. Just like we were saying, the chain reaction that was just forming up, and it was brilliant.
It certainly was just GG to see. But with that, of course, let's have a look at the top players from this game, where indeed we know that Reviews did get himself in the MVP. So of course he has, in only 27 minutes, gotten 872 damage that he dished. Another player, Crypto, from the same team, has 527 damage dished with 5 kills. As you move on along, well, R3G's Johnny and
Yeah.
FS.
Vegeta. Like, all the players were just out there. But talk about the match ranking. 25-24. Look at how close it was. I mean, talk about this one. Regicide was also out there with 19 points for themselves. After that, we come down to, the single digits. R3D, TUF, like, they did try to go good for themselves. NFPSKY out here with no kill points, But still, the placement going that they have, same goes for Team F4. That was also brilliant. But, moving on forward, there were a few teams that did try, but that did not go in their favor. Grounder, Zarar. I mean, we know which team was the reason that of those early eliminations.
Exactly, and that you cannot run away from, because it was that perfect Regicide approach coming in against the side of these teams. But eventually, this all leads us towards an interesting turn of day number 3.
I mean, brilliant a way to play the game, as what you can say. Damage graph actually just, contributes for all these teams as well. You can see. Now, talking about Stalwart Flex, they had a good area for themselves. 2246. Talking about Regicide, 2102. FS, 1605. And North Esports as well. Like, they have the 4th highest damage, but still the team was eliminated with 2 kills. Almost 1100.
Exactly, and again, you talk about the way teams have approached this. It is looking a-okay for a select few teams. It is just completely in their favor, whereas for the other teams, it seems like it has shied away. The opportunity kind of shied away from them, and that, of course, for today's game has to be thanks to Regicide.
Well, I mean, the way the players played, it did get out, it did bring out pretty good moments, if you just talk about this one, right?
And with that, let's of course move on to the open moments themselves and look at those early exits that we saw thanks to Regicide itself, and they were able to bring down not 1 but 2 teams on the same exact hill. The first one at the receiving end was the Grounders, and then that was covered up by Zarar.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a different way of fighting. Like, out in the open, you are going for the rushes, you're going for everything, and the players are taking all the fights. And then the second one happening against Zarar, just like you said. And talking about this, Regicide somehow, like, they survived pretty good with all the players, no casualties, and then this is where, the King of the Hill situation just started faltering up. When you talk about the players, when you talk about everything, the way the players were moving up. But Regicide, they did lose one of their players early, but still, it was like nothing to. And talk about this one. I mean, Zarar, he moved forward, wiped out the squad. Had the grenade been perfectly timed, obviously, it would have damaged him.
Absolutely, and he probably would not have made that push against HUE, but eventually, of course, it worked in his favor, and that was just perfect GG play. And right here, Snow, I mean, the way he approached that fight was perfect, but then he just stood like a mannequin, like a statue, and that was what resulted in him going down. But eventually, again, that was NES. This was the final time that we saw them, because they were sent back into the lobby. And right now, as you move towards the connotation of TUF and Magnus, they had already knocked each of their players and brought themselves to 3-man army, but eventually it was Magnus that went back and TUF stood their ground.
Well, today is actually becoming a day or more of a domination, right? Talk about this one. We saw NFPSKY in the first 2 games, and then FS in the second game and then the third game good performances. So it's like all these teams want to make their mark in the top three thing. I mean, they are at the 4th position. Talking about NFP, they were at the top 3. But let's have a look at the overall standings, you know, just to understand where the teams will be. I would love to see that. I would love to see that, to find out where the competition is heading down with everything.
Because I mean, already day number 3, they've only got 2 more days remaining, basically implying 8 more games. And for that, they do need to showcase a wonderful turn of wins. With that, Team F4 is still leading the chart with 136 points, but all the other teams are slowly reaching them.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing happens, right? If a team has good games, there will be a team that might be just having a bit not so good games.
Right.
That's where F4 was today. I mean, they did try to survive and all those things, but they did not get any kill point in the previous game. That's one thing. But NFPSKY looking decent. FreeStyle looking brilliant with the gameplays. TUF Magnus, they did drop down, but S2 R3D, they are at their same spot.
Exactly, and with that, it is Regicide who has certainly picked up the pace and moved themselves to the 9th position as of now with 70 points. And after that, it is a big downward fall where you talk about teams from Team Bablu all the way down towards StarXOPS. Look towards the total points that they have. From 59, I mean, from 70 on the 9th position to the 10th position having only 59.
Yeah, I mean, if a team wants to go for a chicken in that one, it will still, you know, bridge that gap only. That's one thing. That's how it is.
Exactly. With that, we're going to go on a very, very short break, after which, of course, it's going to be the final game on Erangel. Once again, go on into the chat and let us know what team do you want to see chicken dinner this time around.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome back once again to day number 3 of Pakistan Region PMCO, where indeed we are working towards the road to PMPL Season 3. As of now, all the teams are showcasing some dominating plays. NFP is right up top over there, along with, of course, the likes of Team F4. But Team F4 is being contested for that top position. As we move into the final game for day 3, it is... well, anything can be expected, eh, Ocean?
I mean, yesterday's last game was F4's game. I mean, they won it in an incredible fashion. And today, they would want to do the same. And obviously, once again, cement themselves at the top position.
Right,
but,
yes.
Anything can change, because today it's been like NFP, FS. We'll have to see what happens in the last one, like which team, just goes down with everything. Well, talk about the flight path from shooting range to military bases, where we were seeing the flight path going down. MGS Magnus, they are going to Zarki's side. Let's see how do they rotate in when the circle will be forming up.
Absolutely. With that, of course, we are looking at F4 moving down towards the shelter. Well, we know F4 actually prefers to go down towards the Lipovka region, but we shall see what exactly... Oh, wow. Talking about Lipovka region, we've got the circle, the first circle coming in towards the same region itself. We are looking towards an eastern circle as of now for this game, and the teams, so many of the teams have gone down towards the western side. But again, that is not going to fizzle out their opportunity to be able to rotate on time and get themselves back into the circle. For now, Zarar once again looking very comfortable onto their military zone and going towards the side of no reply. And alongside that, we also have Stalwart Flex that is also going to be at the military base itself. And alongside that, on the other side side onto the main island. We are looking at R3D Joker for now, getting himself through these small little tracks, getting a decent amount of loot. But right now, focus is not the loot probably, because in these small little tracks, you don't really get that many loot, but it's the car.
I mean, vehicles are important, right? If you have one for the starters, you can go anywhere you want to, and then you can, just start off with your loot afterwards, stuff like that. And obviously, if a teammate needs your help, you can just, drive by onto that location. Like, it just comes down to one of those things. So that's one thing. But talking about this one, we are starting off with 54 players this time, instead of the 56 lobby that we actually used to have. So we'll have to see, which players kind of just, are not in the lobby though.
Exactly. That means that some teams have started with a three-man squad from the looks of it. And that, of course, we shall have to see what teams those are going to be. But again, move the conversation towards North Esports. They are looking pretty comfortable. And back to, of course, R3D, where they are towards the side of Rozhok area as of now, and getting themselves acclimated with perfect amount of loot. And they have the entire region for themselves. So that is, of course, going to be working in their favor. And on the other side, of course, is going to be North Esports, as we saw them previously as well. They like to go towards the apartments next to the school and in the school as well. So they are looking very comfortable in that position as of now. Alongside that, Snow bringing in the vehicle for that team.
Talking about NES, the players are still out here, but the thing is, it just matters if you can just spot your teammates and, just spot out the place where they are, and then, you can focus on the loot and then just take him away and then move to the center of the circle. That's important right now. Talking about F4, they have a good area for themselves. Again, they used to start from Lipovka and drop down to Mansion Shelter. That the split used to be there. But right now you can see Khan is onto the prison side. Meanwhile, the other teammates are just onto the back end sides as well, and they'll be just moving up forward. Talking about Stalwart Flex players, they have the military base for themselves, but then movement from here is going to be a crucial one.
Exactly. For now, when you talk about the military base, there are only two teams there, which is going to be, of course, Stalwart Flex. Alongside them, towards the Norapnoy region, towards the eastern part of that same island, is going to be Zarar. And as of now, those are the only two teams, and they have, again, done this every single time we've seen Erangel, and never have they been contested for that location or in that rotation. Today, maybe we might see that, but I doubt actually. But moving on along with the game, we are looking at Bablu, which has once again gone to that comfort spot of Georgiapur being their drop location, and Magnus is all the way on the extreme western side towards the side of Zarki. They have vehicles, so they will be making that rotation and probably towards the side of Severny, as we keep on seeing again and again. But eventually, the conversation, if they do so, will StarXOPS be there once that rotation starts from the side of Magnus? For now, we can only hope and wait that would be the case, but move on towards the side of South Rozhok is where maybe we can see some early contestation where R3G and NES were very close to each other.
Yeah, probably the early skirmishes and all. And talking about R3G, right? You can see the team out here. It was R3D, I guess.
R3D is what I meant, yes.
Because I was like, if R3G is there, they always love those early kills and everything, right? Because they did that in the previous game as well. But right now, let's talk about the Miltaz area. Sounds like a good area to stay as of now, because the circle will be there for like what, first, second zone and all those. Like that's what the circle will be. But after that, movement, it's going to be a crucial one. So that's what the players will have to just look forward to. But hey, on to this side, TUF, one player, two player being taken down, and that too from NFP. Meanwhile, Khatir is on to the other direction. What is Tar doing? He might as well just take another one down. He spots him down as well. The damage being done, and damage was done. One shot to the head, did connect. Does the damage of 53 though. Can he spot him again? He did, but now he knows that the damage that he did, he can go for the finish.
Exactly, and he's certainly going to be wanting to do that. He knows the other team members have left the squad, and with that, seems like not only first blood, we are looking at two first bloods coming in confirmed from the side of Thor right now, and that's going to be a wonderful start for the side of TUF.
They are going to be enjoying it, right? Obviously, the loot as well, whatever it is, and the fact that they have a vehicle as well for themselves now. Vehicle, like, I don't know what happened. It was a US and then a bike. Did they stop for the bike or something? And I think they haven't spotted Deadshot as of now. He's still trying to spot down Deadshot where he is, and I think now he does, and he takes him down. But now as Deadshot was moving up onto the back end side, there's still a gamble, like, right? Where is the next player? Like, because one just ran away. Where's another one? Or was it this team that started off a three-man squad game? Like, what just happened?
Perhaps it could be NFP that is a three-man squad for now, or rather, well, not even a three-man squad anymore, because two of them have been sent back into the lobby right off the bat in the first 5 minutes. Now you look at Qatar, yep, that is the team. NFP do not have one of their players, and that has resulted in this right off the bat being a one-man army for the side of NFP. So We had the conversation, we had the question, will NFP be able to get 3 chicken dinners in today's game? Well, that seems to be highly unlikely now. But again, talking about the other team that is only playing with 3 players is going to be Zarar.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be out there, but right now, as the players are trying to just, move up onto these areas, you can see NFPSKY Khatir still onto his own location, holding onto the compounds, holding onto the areas, holding onto Brit, as where he is, but TUF, they are holding up good compounds, R3D as well, so I would love to see what NFP Khatir does as he's a lone wolf right now. He's a solo survivor. Zarar will be trying to just enter from nowhere up noise, so might as well be. Look at the cluster that's entering from the backside of Rozok.
Exactly. We've got Bablu right there. We've got StarX right there. Magnus has made an early rotation. Have already gotten themselves in the circle itself. And with that, we've got a confirmed kill coming in on towards the side of Bablu, that is. And it seems like StarX was the one who was at the dishing end. But talk about Regicide. It is insane. That was trying to dish out damage towards the other side. But eventually, TUF Edgar will be able to get away from that situation. And it is going to be Nocto who is knocked for now. But will TUF want to convert that? Will they want to retaliate, or are they probably going to be rotating away from the situation? As of now, it seems like they certainly are going to do so, and that is going to confirm Regicide to be able to, well, revive their player.
Well, Bablu also goes down as Fury is taking a fight onto the other direction, and you can see they are going to spot on the other players as well. And right now, another one. Oh, no. Wolf was the one, just holding up the fight for themselves. And Zibian's on the direction as well. Like, they did reach out there for themselves, but the revives in the open might as well be a tricky affair. And Nani goes down. Team Bablu has been reduced to a 2-man squad. Zibian and Wolf just out here. And Fury needs a revive as well, as that's in the open. But right now, Zibian is trying to take the players down. And if he sees a pixel or something, he would love to do the damage onto those areas. But right on from the other direction, it's a skirmish. Like, now, what will Team Star do? I mean, you can see the players still out in the open, but Fury, I mean, the vehicle blast automatically gives him a cover now.
Absolutely, and with that, Star able to get all 4 players away from that situation. Bablu not looking too good, or not looking too much comfortable or in control of this fight that they were not expecting, but it is StarX who have been able to move away, and not only move away, they've got all 4 players working in their favor, and alongside that, you move towards the left side of the screen. Right now, we're looking at a flank coming in from the water side towards the StarX players, and that is going to be a GG play. As you can see, they have already moved on to the other flank, and that is going to result in Bablu being in a bit of a tricky situation if they do not get out of that. And they do. They certainly do. They are going to be rushing away from that situation, and that is going to work in their favor, because at least they will be able to have the 2-man going towards the end of the game, and that is what they need. They need those points. Even if it's just placement, even if it's just based on survival, you need them points.
Somehow, this kind of just, if you just talk about this one, Team Bablu, it was a lot tough, once they were trying to rotate from the area and obviously were caught off guard. But now, once they're moving up against the will, because they wanted to go as a 4-man squad, obviously, no team would be wanting that. But look at that. Is that a cat and mouse chase happening right behind them? Because the players were coming out there, and sounds like they lost it. Now, sounds like obviously the players lost the players of Team Bablu, and the Team Bablu, they are moving up against their will now. But Team StarXOPS, they did try to track the players down of Team Bablu.
They certainly did.
Yeah,
they wanted to confirm that kill. They wanted to get those all 4 points, but eventually it is going to be StarX who have decided to, of course, abandon that approach, and they are of course going to be now working towards getting into the zone. The sooner the better, because you do need a compound that you can call yours, you can call your own, and get it comfortable, get yourself comfortably set up. And alongside that, you are looking at R3D Anubis right now in this compound, and it is going to be Bablu once again at the receiving end. A little bit of damage has of course been received onto the side of Wolf, but they do not have any more to worry about as they walk away, or rather run away from this situation. And with that, we've got the map on our screens. Bablu is going to be going directly towards the side of F4 for now. And again, talk about rotations. It is NFP Khatir who is making that late rotation through the water. He was next to the bridge as we saw him last, and Zarar finally coming into the circle.
Well, talk about Team Zarar. Yes, they are into the circle, but Khatir, the swim that he is doing is going to take him down to the backside of Milta, and probably the compounds onto the back end side of Milta Power. Like, he has to move from house to house to house to house just so that he's safe. And one more thing, the circle should favor him. Otherwise, if the circle doesn't favor him, he has to get inside the zone, and that's where a lot of teams will be it might just be a tricky affair. Team Star makes it inside the circle though, but Stalwart Flex, R3D, TG, like they have the left-hand area for themselves. So Team Star, if they try to come out from that area, it might just be a bit of a tricky thing for them as well.
It certainly could be, but right now, of course, we saw that StarX is in control of aggression. They were able to knock down 2 players from the side of Bablu, and that, of course, worked in their favor absolutely gorgeously. But now, as we move into the circle itself, now so many of these teams are going to be setting themselves up in different compounds. As we just had seen, it is R3D. Anubis was the one who did take shots towards the side of Team Bablu as they make that rotation, but now StarFlex is also in the region, and they are also wanting to contest. For now, they are in the open, and they are going to have to just make themselves at home in this shelter.
Well, somehow, as you can see, onto the situation. So, Stalwart, the players are moving up forward, and now the circle's actually favoring Khatir. But the thing is, Team Zarar's out on that location. So, again, moving on to the areas, it's going to be a tricky thing for him. Well, the airdrop number 2 has an M249, and let's see who gets this. Well, Johnny takes on TUF Thor, and Venom as well as Insane does that. And Johnny will be finishing out onto the players, and sounds like TUF is in a bit of a trouble.
TUF certainly is in a bit of trouble because that was the team who did take that fight against the side of R3G, but eventually were at the receiving end, and now as they make that rotation, they've moved on towards the side of Magnus, and alongside that, TUF not only taken fights with 1 team, they are taking fights with 2 teams. That is just perfect because again, R3G has been able to get 1 knock for themselves, and that was on the side of Magnus, but alongside that, this is a 3-man army for now, and on their side, TUF Edgar as well as Magnus perhaps will want to retaliate. For now, it is only Edgar who seems to be wanting to keep a bit of control and aggression for R3G, but will he be allowed to make this rotation work in his favor is what we shall have to see, because R3G still have their crosshairs set up exactly at this compound that Edgar is looting.
Well, Edgar's still, just looting up onto the areas. But the thing is, as the fights are happening back and forth in all those directions, the players still have to just, make sure that they are okay by the end of the circles, in the end of the fights, because we talk about everything, right? Once it's like 2 players surviving, something like that, if one goes down, the other one will be following up, and that is not good for the team. And obviously, for the momentum to end by the last game, that is this game. Because if the players, end up this game at the early stage, tomorrow's start might just be a bit of a mental pressure onto the player side as well.
And that is so true. That is going to be very, very crucial for these teams and the players, of course, to be able to somehow bring that into their favor, as this is the final game for day number 3, which will then result with only 8 games remaining for these teams. And these players are wanting to, of course, showcase that wonderful, wonderful play to be able to move along to the road. With the final destination being PMPL Season 3, they do want to bring in that performance. But Bablu is not looking good for now. They have been brought down to just 2-man, and they, of course, need to take the approach of NFP.
Look at this Team Star. I mean, they did get stuck behind that tree, and that is going to be the end of StarXOPS. The way the team was just, trying to move is that they were moving onto the downward side, and then there was a tree. The vehicle got stuck in the tree, and they got taken out.
Yep.
Drive safely.
Well. And you talk about R3G, of course, they had that, they were rather waiting. They were waiting for somebody to come alongside them, give them points, and so beautifully and graciously, StarX has done so and given away 2 points. And along with that, it is R3G who is going to be looking pretty neat for now. You talk about the circle itself. Sky Khater is all by himself down towards the south region of Milta for now, and he will have to take that snail space. Once again, the circle favoring Khater in certain sense because it is very close to him, and he does not have to make that big of a rotation. So that's going to be GG for him. But again, you talk about this fight that Bablu is trying to take towards the side of F4. It could be a bit of a tricky affair because NES is right on the other edge as well.
Well, therefore, you can see the players just, trying to make up a cover for themselves. But the thing is that they are outside the circle. They have to make it inside the circle. The Milta to the Woodcutter's farm area, like those areas are where the fights might just be happening. But it's not an easy affair once you see all the teams just pretty close to each other, all the players pretty close to each other. Once it's the 4th circle right now. And once the zone moves to like, 5th or 6th circle, it might just be a lot tricky with everything. Because they have all the players surviving. But the thing is, they have to start the kill counter.
Exactly. For now, they have no points being dished out for them, and right now they are just holding on to that small little sniper hut, if I could call it that, is where they've got themselves looking sorted. But for now, as you move on along towards the side of H2E, they have FS right next to them. They've got to be a bit more careful. But alongside that, also looking at FS's player, they have themselves set up in a split, and that could either work in their favor or work against them, because Tyrant and Zulkar are all by themselves, and if H2E decide to retaliate, if they decide to push for this contestation, it might result in FS being at the receiving end, because there are only 2 players right here.
I mean, it always depends, right? How you want to just, get a hold of this game and everything. But, well, that's just one thing. But H2E, talking about this one, they know that there are vehicles. That means there are players. They have spotted on a few as well. Oh, the head was being spotted down. So now, if Tyrant, he moves 1 pixel onto the other side, he gets done. But look at this. Vehicle knock coming up onto the kill feed, and that's where the fights were happening. I mean, Stalwart Flex, the players will have to look forward to if they can take a fight, but no, Blade is on really low HP onto the other direction as the players are slowly and steadily going down, and Blade, one wrong mistake can actually take him down, and Crypto's onto their direction as well. Virus using a med kit. I mean, both the players are out. They're just popping up the first aids of med kits for themselves, but now it just comes down to how is the fight going to happen. Crypto's grenade takes on Anubis. This is a brilliant fight, but R3D, all the players will have to do something if they want to just win this battle right now.
Absolutely, and Crypto just being absolutely perfect with the utility, and he was able to spot Joker right there, where Joker seemed to have been busy with some medkits, but eventually it was, of course, in favor of Starflex's player, but eventually now that perfect hill advantage has not favored R3D, and it is Starflex who seem to be pushing alongside the players of R3D. 1 knock has been confirmed, 1 kill has been confirmed from the looks of it, and it is going to be Walker as well as Anubis as to what exactly do they bring.
Look at Blade getting those kill points for himself and for the team as they actually wipe out the entire squad out here. But hey, nothing's easy as NES is just right on the back end side, but they will be getting a hold of the vehicles for themselves, the cover that they will be making. There are 4 vehicles, as you could see on that area. Now NES, they are trying to shift everything onto the direction of the opponents, but right now, as you can see, Fokan was being spotted out on that location far away. But slowly and steadily, NES, they want to get those points for themselves. Edgar takes down Zarar. Myth, Tyrant will be finished out. Battles, fights happening everywhere.
Battles certainly happening all across the map as of now, and in doing so, so many teams have been knocked down. We've got so many players getting so many points. It is Starflex which is looking really dominating. They did lose 1 player though, but eventually the skirmish was in their favor, where they walk away with 4 points, looking very comfortable. Talk about North Esports towards this log area. They also have, for now, only 3-man army is what they are, and all the other teams are going to be moving across this exact same position that NES has found or calling home, but for how long? Because they also need to move. They are about 250-300 meters away from the zone, as other teams have already made the rotation. That late rotation for NES could backfire, as other teams would be ready.
Whoa, so much of damage happening, and Vegeta is out in the open. Does H2, he knows, he knew a vehicle did damage, and he's thinking, where is the other player? They don't know it yet, but if Khan low on HP, 1 good shot to the head can actually take him down, but Respect is also still surviving. Khan is on really low HP. He's on a sliver of HP, and he still manages to move away, but no, Johnny takes him down, 1 shot, and Joker will be finishing him up.
Ouch is the conversation over there, but talk about Stalwart Flex right here. Seems to be having some sort of a car party in the smoke area, but eventually it was blown, but that is a-okay. The revive will be confirmed, and that is of course going to result in them still being a 3-man strong army, but it was coming in from the side of Magnus perhaps, so the Magnus knows that there is a team there.
And Team Bablu gets eliminated as last player did go down plays, as we were just able to see on the kill feed right now. And he is Avenger. The grenades moving. Look at this, so many grenades going up back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So much of the utility usage going down, but he should be seeing Red as well, because Red has is on to the other direction. But NES Maxi, his grenade does connect, and now the team is moving up forward. So many grenades onto the other direction as well. Avenger, he's pretty close to the opponent, and Emma takes on S2. Dread right now, but Abul's grenade takes on TUF. Come back onto the other direction, but right now this is where the fight is happening. He has to do a 1v2, he takes on 1v1, and look at this! Avenger OP! 1 kill though, but the team gets the other kills as well.
And he's not done yet. He's not done yet. He's moving that aggression from one team that is going to be towards the other, and now he's got F4 in his crosshairs. He's got the information towards that team as well. And Avenger OP bringing in some perfectly dished controlled damage control, and in doing so have resulted in the team being sent back into the lobby. NES now have their crosshairs for F4 on the other side of the map. We're looking at Zarar making that perfect push into the circle as well, but for now, what exactly are they going to be working towards? They have NFP Carter right across that region. NFP Carter is being one with the nature as he needs to, because he's only a 1-man army, and the Grounders also actually need to do something, showcase some sort of a play in this game.
They're trying to spot down a few players if they can onto the directions and locations. But hey, Myth has been spotted down, and look at that, the shots and the damage is being done, and Myth goes down. Well, Myth is busted, and onto the direction, you can see all the other players are still out there. And the thing is, after 45 seconds, the zone's gonna be coming in as well. So both the teams have to move inside the circle. That's one of the most important things in Zarar. Myth, if you knock them down, you need to confirm, because the points are important.
Exactly, and as he did so, it is TG who is going to be getting that information and bringing in a few more shots towards their side, and eventually it is of course information given away towards the side of Destroyer, and now F4 Destroyer have their crosshairs towards TG as well, and the Grounders, they are not going to like what they have, because they gave away the information, and now F4 will be gunning for them. But alongside that, also keep in mind that it is only 15 seconds, 10 seconds remaining for the circle to start, and that is where F4 might be in trouble, because they have to make this push out in the open. They've given information towards, of course, not only Zarar, but towards the like of TG as well, and they will want to retaliate the aggression that F4 has showcased for now. But never mind that push, never mind getting into the circle, because on the other side, of course, it was NES that was waiting, and R3G as well that was waiting for F4, and as soon as they popped out, F4's Voltrux has been knocked, leaving only Destroyer, and the circle is going to, of course, take care of Voltrux. Destroyer is the only man surviving for now. He's probably going to get himself all the med kits that he possibly can, all the first aid kits that he possibly can from his teammate, but probably not going to work out for him, and F4 back into the lobby.
Playzone gets the best out of them, because Playzone was just moving forward, and the damage that it does is always a lot. Talk about that as well. Magnus is kept, he is trying to spot someone. He might as well spot up a few players. I mean, even Joby was being spotted down, but well, he still has something else in his mind. He is trying to spot down the players. He knows that there's a smoke for some reason out there, but onto the direction, is still surviving right out there. FS Respect inside the area, right behind where all the other teams are surrounding him somehow. So let's just see where the game actually takes all these players slowly and steadily, as Magnus, R3D Esports, Stalwart, you can see FreeStyle as well, Grounders, Regicide, NFPSKY. So many teams are still out here, but the thing is, the fight's still trying to dominate onto these areas. Look at Respect. The team has no kill. He has no kill. He's the last one surviving right now. All he has to do is stay here, because this is inside the circle. If he goes out in the open, he gets spotted down. So he needs to wait for the perfect timing.
Exactly, that timing is what is going to be very essential for Respect to be able to convert this push in his favor, because again, he is outside the circle as well, and he has information towards the side of Stalwart, and he wants to confirm that. He wants to get a few more kills. He wants to, of course, get points, but how will he be approaching the situation with that? We've only got 5 teams remaining: Magnus, Regicide, Zarar, FreeStyle, and Stalwart Flex. With that, we're talking about Zarar being one-man army, we're talking about FreeStyle being a one-man army, and Regicide, I believe, have 2 men strong. On the other side, Stalwart Flex also probably have 2 to 3 players alive.
We are down to 5 teams and 8 players. Exactly. No team has, like, a proper power out here, as there are like 2 players, 1 less, like things like that. But look at this. Players are being taken down. Stalwart Flex gets eliminated. Down to 4 teams. MGS, Magnus, they're trying to do everything in their favor, as StarXOPS is just moving forward against the circle. Now he is trying to make up a good part for himself. So far, if we talk about the fights, Regicide is looking really good, as they have good kill numbers for themselves. 8 on the number board. But if we talk about Insane, is he sitting
in the car? Yes.
In the car? Okay.
Yes. Interesting. Where, of course, his teammate is on the other side of the car and is taking the bail as the cover for now, and that's going to be Joker. But on the side, of course, you talk about Zarar Zalim, the only one-man army, has gotten himself towards the final circle in the top 4, and now, of course, since he is a lonesome soldier, he is going to have to keep a very low-key approach to the entirety of his situation.
Talk about Respect as well, as he's also the solo survivor from the team, and he has to do something in this situation. All the players slithering about. Insane, can he spot down Zalim? That will actually just take one more player down. Insane slowly and steadily just crawling down onto the areas. Zalim has no idea. Does he know this? Look at Insane just going along with the circle lines. Does Zalim know? Joker's on to the other direction. Insane still trying to make a good area for himself. Zalim, I think he knows. Does he know? Oh, they get spotted down. But no, Insane confirms that 1 kill for himself. And now he will be crawling down to find himself inside the circle. Zarar Esports gets eliminated. 7 circle crawling up right now. Magnus had a good area. Regicide as well. FS. It's a 2v1 affair.
Exactly. For respect, the only thing that's working in his favor is going to be that small little hut that he's in, and that is going to, of course, have that cover. But now he's moved away from that and has the vehicle as his cover, so that's going to be GG play for him. But respect, as we see, is a lonesome army. If Magnus spots him, it is going to be trouble. If Insane or Insane has probably a better chance of spotting him. But if Insane wants to flank the situation, it is going to be a troublesome affair.
The circle is with Magnus. The zone is with Magnus. In this way, what R3G can do is just try and rotate early. The haystacks can be something that's really right close to the airdrop. But Magnus, like, they would not want to leave this area for themselves. Respect. 19 meters is the distance. Well, he has a grenade. But where is it going? All right, nobody's home when the grenade's just out there. But the grenade can obviously, compromise his location. That's one thing that can be just, changing the game. Sounds like he knows that Erangel out there, but the grenade did arrive pretty close to him as well. And talk about Joker. He has smokes. The smokes are going to be covering his direction, his POV from Respect. But the grenade did do a bit of a damage onto Respect side. That was from Adil, though. And now comes the push that R3G wanted. But look at Joker. His West is totally done for. Now the players are moving up forward, while Adil is looking forward onto Respect's POV. Do he spot him? Do they spot him? Do they spot him? I think Adil knows. Adil knows there's a player right onto that area. All he has to do is just get up, shoot, confirm that kill, as Respect is still out there. He's still surviving. He's moving up forward. He gets spotted. He goes down. It's a 2v2. Regicide versus Magnus.
Oh, what a perfect turn of events this has been for the side of course, Regicide. Because as that fight started off with Magnus, it is just perfect. Perfect skip. That was so very close. I mean, that nade was just beautifully cooked and on point. But Joker still walking away with no problem at all. Now, when it comes to another nade, they have the information. Joker has only the cover of that bale and that loot box. Now, eventually, it is going to be Insane's affair as to how exactly is he going to be flanking the situation, where exactly is he going to be finding the cover. Magnus is in perfect control for now because, well, Regicide is taking a very, very snail approach to this entirety of the affair.
We are down to the last circle, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 9 zone is where we are, and this is going to be the heal battle zone. But Joker, he'll be having a perfect cover. That hate stack, he can actually change the game for himself, but the grenades were being thrown down. But now comes down the thing. How are the players going to push it in this one? Smoke grenades coming off. Oh, Scaps goes down. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Regicide is ready to take the game into their hands. As Adil is still surviving. Can he or can he not survive? But for how long can he survive? That's one of the most important questions. Adil's location has been compromised. The zone's damaging him. The bullet's damaging him. He's surviving, but for how long can he survive? There it is. Last player going down. Regicide takes this win.
Chicken dinner. This is perfect from Regicide's controlled affair of controlled aggression, controlled domination. We saw it in the previous game as well. We saw it in this game as well. With 11 total kills, 26 points to this team. They have moved up to the 7th position on the overall ranking with 15-14 total damage dealt.
Brilliant gameplay coming up from the lads out in this one. So this was incredible the way these players, actually played. Talking about Regicide, those two players, it's a 2v2 affair. It was what it was, but then at the end, the players did try to get the best of the game, and they got it.
They certainly got it. And with that, of course, let's also talk about the most valuable player from today's game. Indeed, there were so many wonderful plays from so many different players, but who will be selected for that MVP? I mean, it could very well be any of them, lads, and it is Adil from Magnus Esports with 4 kills, 1045 damage dealt throughout the game, survival time of 28 minutes and 25 seconds, only 83 healing done.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant, the way it was actually just, in the numbers. But if we just talk about everything, right, when we talk about the way the fights were happening, the way the players were moving up forward and all those things, so somehow I would still say that one player is good, but there were so many players that were just, looking forward to their best gameplays. Johnny was out there. Voltrux, insane. Talk about Johnny's skills. 6 kills by that individual lad.
Exactly, 20 minutes of survival time and 6 kills to this lad. That is just perfect play. The lowest amount of survival time amongst all of these 4 players, but beautiful amount of kills coming in from Johnny, and that showcases the aggression that this lad has from the side of course, Regicide.
I mean, and that was good. That was good. The way the players have been playing the game for themselves. But right now, as we could just, very well see, I would love to see where it actually just, keeps the players on their toes. As Insane was the one with maximum assist. Johnny with the highest kills. We saw the highest damage as well. That was from Adil. Obviously, Joker was out there with the maximum distance, and Zalim with the longest distance kill.
Well. Longest distance travel right here is Joker. Indeed, they made a very big rotation, and with that, they have, of course, resulted them being the top with 11 kills. No other team is even close to that amount of number, and with that, they walk away with 26 points. Magnus Esports coming in second with 5 kills and 17 points, followed very closely by Stalwart Flex with 6 kills and 12 points.
Well, this was brilliant by the players, obviously, the way it was, right? FreeStyle, they had 1 kill though, but you know, it's okay because the one player was surviving out there, so that was something that happened. R3D, they did not have any placement points with 1 kill, was certainly other team. Bablu had a bad game in this one, but obviously they would try to come back stronger tomorrow, but now is kind of the high time, right? We talked about this.
Right.
Few games remaining, 2 days.
Very few. But this is a good game because again, I mean, all the teams ended up getting at least 1 kill, apart from, of course, NFP that we saw was just a 3-man army, and that too were brought down to only a 1-man squad, and that, of course, resulted in him being pushed back into the lobby. But talk about the damage dealt in today's game. What a phenomenal game this has been, because again, you talk about Regicide, 15-14 damage coming in from them. Talk about Magnus, 1299 damage coming in from them. Just wow.
There was a team with nothing. No damage, no kills. Okay.
Well. What can we say of course, because you know, NFP were playing just a 3-man squad, and that too was just a 1-man by the initial few minutes of the game itself, and that of course resulted in that sort of an affair. But overall though, that is a really good game for all the teams, because all the teams showcased a wonderful damage control and dishing damage to the other teams as well. But with that, let's recap, let's go over the Oppo moments, and of course find out where those early skirmishes started off from.
This is where it just, you know, started off as the first fight. And yes, NFP, we talk about this one. Khatir was the last player surviving. He had to survive, had to go for the placement, try to go for the placement points. And also, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work in your favor. So that's one thing that happened. But talk about this one. I mean, Joker, he was looking at the other direction. Crypto makes the best utilization out of it, and the push that player actually did. Brilliant.
Exactly. I mean, this should have actually converted in R3D's favor, but eventually it was Stalwart that were able to walk away and bring that team of R3D back into the lobby. Now talk about F4. They were in this position for the longest time. They held that ground, but as soon as they tried to push away from that position, they of course had so many opponents that they had given away the information to, and as soon as they tried to do so, it was the end.
This, if you remember, Insane just moving up forward. And
right.
Obviously, they had a good area. And given the fact you remember, Joker used one smoke, and he used that smoke to just slowly and steadily just rush forward. That was brilliant. And then the grenades, they knew that obviously that's where the players can be. They're not in the open field, so they are behind that one miniature ridge. And once they actually got the confirmation of one player, they knew it was their game.
Exactly, and what a wonderful turn of events this has been. With that, of course, let's also have a look at the overall standings, where it is a very tight affair. Stalwart Flex moving up to the top with 143 points. Team F4 brought down to second with 141. And after that, there is still a big difference from second to third when you talk about just the points itself.
So right now what we can say is third position is also up for contestation if a team does good. Obviously they can, you know, just try and take the other teams down. But Stalwart, 2 points difference when we talk about this one. If we talk about F4 and Stalwart, so that's pretty close.
Exactly, I mean, just 8 games remaining. In that, all the teams are showcasing wonderful turn of events. Regicide has moved up to 7th position with these sort of phenomenal plays from them. Is again very close, very tightly knit affair for now. Anything can happen. It can go on to any team's favor, because eventually, every single day as we progress along, every single day you keep on looking at different sort of teams, different sort of maneuvers and gameplays that keep on changing the dynamic of the overall ranking.
Yeah, I would love to see what the 9 to 16 is so far. 9 to 14, that's what it is now. But that's where you could see the likes of North Esports, R3D team, Bablu the Grounders, Zarar Esports, and StarXOPS. I mean, StarXOPS, they tried to go for the good fights, but sometimes, you know, it did not work out in their favor right now. But now is the main fight in like top 3.
Right.
So let's say top 6, and after that is the fight of the prize money as well, because that also, you know, decreases based on their performance.
Exactly, and again, I mean, you talk about the way the entirety of the lobby is going on along, it is looking phenomenal. I mean, you talk about the first and second, they are very close in terms of the points. You talk about third and fourth, again very close to the points. Then you move on from 5th all the way down to the 14th. There's a lot of difference between the points.
Now, given the fact F4 has 2 chicken dinners and Stalwart Flex has 1, just look at this. It's still like Stalwart has 2 points more, and that's because of one reason. That is that they were focusing on the kill department. Given the fact I still remember Stalwart had 73 placement points and F4 had 75 placement points, but the kill department somehow matters as well, because that sometimes becomes a good tiebreaker, because it also showcases one thing, that which team wants to go, because you can see the damage dealt is also pretty close to in both the teams. It's not a bigger difference, but which team wants to go just a bit passive or just a bit aggressive, because both the team want to go aggressive, but it's like with respect to the other, because right now you can say 70 kills means Stalwart is trying to dish out more damage as compared to team F4, so that's just one thing, but both the teams are playing brilliantly. I mean, this is one thing, but tomorrow F4 would like to come back and snatch their first position, but Stalwart, like, will they let them go easily? That's the thing.
Exactly, because since the time Stalwart has come online, they have just showcased a phenomenal turn of events for themselves itself. Again, talking about Stalwarts, let's have a look at the team card itself, going against the team of course. Well, again, Stalwart, just beautiful play, and that is what they've done in 12 matches.
Talk about Crypto, 25 kills, 4,300 plus damage coming up from this individual ladder. And talk about Blade as well, 17 kills. So the players have been looking really, really good. Obviously, they don't have the best like 20 plus minute survival time or anything, but the thing is, whenever they are surviving for good, they are surviving for the points, they are surviving for the kills, and they are showcasing it out. Talk about Usum, talk about Rivers, like he was also an MVP in the third game, if I'm not wrong. So all the players are looking good for themselves.
Exactly, and that is of course going to be a GG play coming in from these teams and these players as well. As you move on along, 8 more games remain. 2 days for the regional finals to come to an end, and the top 3 so very close, Ocean. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, one good game from any of these teams is going to be bringing them to that top show. But with that, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be back again tomorrow with day number 4 and some highly packed aggression and gameplays from these teams. Until then, take care. Bye bye.